Daphne?
Are we up yet?
We're up right now.
Was that up?
No, that wasn't up. We're up right now.
Wow. I don't care if it was. I'm so pissed, honestly. I mean, if I...
It's almost like companies, if they screw up, they don't want to take responsibility. I don't understand it. Hey, one of the best ways, and I told Scott this, hey, if you make a mistake, just tell the customer, hey, I made a mistake, I'm sorry.
But you gotta own it.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's the best, one of the best ways.
All right, I'll sit on it for a minute.
But there's also, you know, I mean, you're going to lose one or two.
So what did we find out? Because I'm about to throw the stuff on here.
I haven't gotten a hold of anybody.
That's not my phone.
So, no, Dan has your phone.
You said it was stolen by Uber.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Go try. I tell you what, I'm giving them a few minutes.
Okay.
But after that last message, I'm ready. You know what? They never called this guy back. I don't even care.
She had my extension. She knows how to get hold of me. She was being a weenie and left it.
My problem with Gina, I don't even care. I could care less about Gina. Who I care is the owner told me numerous times she'd call the other guy back.
Absolutely.
But she's trying to blame it on all these other things, and she's trying to throw me under the bus like I'm going to get fired because they're coming off with the referral.
Oh, God.
They couldn't.
Well, I didn't know you were talking to me.
With anything.
I know. Well, come on.
Oh. Shane sounded pretty good on the radio, Mark. You know that?
What?
Yeah, he did.
He came off well.
Yeah, he did. Oh, so you heard it?
I heard
You
it.
felt that he came off good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him after, I said, Shane, A++, you did great. He was really nervous before you
Oh, yeah.
So I talked with him for like 10 minutes. I said, hey, just...
I was too. The first time I got, you know.
And I told him that too, for me, for the first couple of times. I said, just pretend as though you're talking to a customer on the phone like you have done for years.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
Look at your IM.
Yeah, but when you get nothing to hide, it's really easy. Because you just talk. I mean, and
Tell the facts. And after that, we got 2 calls on diffs. Not that we got them, but people are hearing it. We need the business.
Okay, one source auto, real quick, Dan. Give me the real skinny.
So with that Jeep, I can't remember. I'm going to have to call him and ask him.
I think, was it the woman that called in about the kid?
Yes, that's what it was. That's right.
So, but what was it? They bought the Jeep. It had all kind of extra BS on it.
Lift kit.
Oh, and the warranty wouldn't cover because it was modified?
Right,
okay.
Right, that's right.
And what went wrong with it?
I don't remember. You don't sell a warranty on something that you can't sell a warranty on, right?
Well, unless you get the money back on it, that's sure.
Or he's got other things to say.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind, and I got to tell you, I am in a little bit of a mood today. So please bear with me. We've got so many issues we're dealing with, and I get so upset. I get so upset at different things that happen. And one of the things that drives me crazy, and I'm not going to fly off the handle yet, but I got to tell you, when a referral list member I reach out to get back to a customer doesn't do it in a certain amount of time, I get furious. So anybody out there that thinks Tom or myself ever protect referral list members, let me tell you, you're absolutely wrong. And if I don't hear something from these people this hour, I'm going to go off on them like they've never seen before. Now, saying that, I apologize, and I would like to do this, and I truly mean it. On the way to work today, we leave in Franktown. Suzanne and I drove down I-25. We usually get on at Castle Rock to come down here, so we're talking about 8 o'clock this morning. We left a little late. Wow, I got to tell you, the Sheriff's Department, State Patrol, the deputies, the municipality police departments, the fire departments, oh my God, I was so teared up by the time we got here, it was incredible. We tuned right into 9 News to kind of watch it. I would truly like to do this, and this is not easy for me, but basically a quick moment of silence for that officer that was shot and killed last week by some complete idiot. I mean, these guys give their lives day in and day out to protect us. You know, we talk about economic crime and how DAs don't handle that, but I got to tell you, the guys that walk the street, the guys that pull you over, the guys that show up on domestic violence calls, the guys that show up when there's a shooter in a school, the guys that show up and protect us and our families deserve every bit of respect. So, real quick, 10 seconds, please. All right, folks, 303-713-8255. When a line drops off, I'll let you know when it comes up. We've got a lot of updates today. I've got to tell you, we've got to... Is Clint coming in today? Do you know? Clint's not in? Okay. We have got so many updates to do today, but we've got to talk about Christian Brothers. We've got every line full, of course, like usual. But in studio with me, some great guys. It's car day. Mark Machowski, Budget A1. In fact, you've got something to do with that Christian Brothers we'll get to. And then Kevin Calkin with Sheridan Auto Tech. Kevin, welcome. Mark, welcome. 303-713-8255. Let's do this. Let me see here. Jerry called last week, and I got to get to Jerry real quick. Then the owner of this shop, One Source Auto, his name is John. He's on, and I love when businesses come on to give their side of the story. But I got to update everybody and refresh their memory of what happened with Jerry. So, Jerry, if I recall, you bought a Jeep from One Source Auto. Is that part at least correct?
Yes.
And you bought an aftermarket warranty from them?
Yes.
How much was the warranty? Was it, I think he told me like $2,000?
It was almost $3,000.
Almost $3,000. Now,
$2,995.
This was like a jacked-up Jeep. In other words, it was lifted or what?
Correct. It's got a lift and it's got larger tires.
Okay.
Aftermarket modifications that were included on the warranty.
Okay, so when you brought it to get some warranty work done, the bottom line is the warranty company said, no, this stuff's been modified. You have no warranty on this.
Correct.
Okay, and how much damage are we looking at, or how much is the repair that needs to be repaired?
Well, initially, we were just trying to get the repairs to make the vehicle go straight and stop wobbling all over the road so that it's safe to drive. And just the front of the vehicle to make it go straight is $2,314. But for all the suspension repairs that need to be done, we're looking at $7,292.73.
Well, yeah, but, okay, if it, let me ask you this. If it wasn't modified, would that stuff still be covered? You know, I'm not sure if it's going to cover normal wear and tear and pre-existing. Most warranties don't even cover pre-existing. Do you realize that?
I do realize that now. However, I was told by the finance manager at One Source Auto that every modification on the vehicle was going to be covered.
Of course, you don't have. Do you have that in writing?
I do have. What it says on the warranty paper is that the options, it says lift kit and tire modifications, and it's checked that that is covered.
Oh, it is. And that's one of the things that needs to be repaired right now.
Yes.
And where did you bring it where it was denied?
We took it to the certified mechanics at a Christian Brothers. We also took it to Four Wheel Parts.
Well, you're just poking the bear there, but okay, keep going.
I know. I was listening yesterday. It was about a month ago, so it's a completely different story. We have to bear that in mind.
Yeah, understood.
And
how long ago did you buy this?
We bought it on November 11th. We were aware it was having problems within the first week.
Okay. So you just bought it?
Yeah. And so we took it to the first mechanic at the end of November. I started making contact with One Source Auto on December 1st, and I have been really getting the runaround. Eric has communicated with me up until December 16th, and then he stopped returning our calls.
And where did they leave it? Were they going to do anything for you? Did they offer anything?
So we had it towed from a mechanic's office back to One Source Auto. They said they wanted to have their mechanics look at it. The mechanic that looked at it did do some work to make it so that it was at least somewhat drivable, but he still himself said if you go over 35 miles an hour, it's not a safe vehicle. So what he did was he tightened all the loose tie rods, which helped to stabilize the vehicle a little bit.
I don't know how you tighten a loose tie rod, but that's a different story. But hold on a second. We're getting a good picture here. But I want to ask you this once again, though. Did they offer to do anything, like maybe refund the warranty or anything? What did they offer to do?
They promised they were going to make it right.
Okay. So that's basically what they said. Have you brought it back to them to look at yet?
They did. Look, we had it towed back to them.
Okay.
They looked at it, and he said that his mechanic said there's nothing wrong with it. In the interim, since I talked to you last, evidently One Source Auto got in touch with Alpha A+ Warranty.
Yeah.
They contacted us, and asked for pictures and more information about the vehicle. We sent all that to them. She called back yesterday. Her name was Deborah from Alpha Warranty, and said very respectfully that they are not interested in pursuing any more covering of this vehicle, and that we needed to get back with One Source Auto and get a refund because they will not cover this.
Well, and maybe that's exactly what's going to happen. So would that make you happy to get the refund?
That, at the very least, would make us happy. What would make me that?
Yeah, hold on. But honestly, with $3,000, you'll probably be able to do any repair needed to this vehicle on the suspension side to where it's in great shape. Would you agree with that?
I would agree that it'll make the front end go straight from the estimate that I have in front of me.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that they would not give us back the cash. They would put it back on the loan. So that
that's normal, though. I mean, really, that's normal.
Okay, but if they do that, then there's no cash in hand for us to make the vehicle right. So
I understand. I'm not so sure that's their issue, though. But hold on. He's been holding. I want to go talk to John Chain. He is the owner of One Source Auto. And, John, first of all, I appreciate you coming on to give your side of the story. And what can you add to this?
Thank you very much for having us on. And can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. Yeah, they did come down and purchase the vehicle. It was on the internet. They live up in, I believe, Castle Rock. And I'll paint you a picture. It is a wild-looking Jeep. It's lifted. It's amazing looking.
Sure. When
we bought the car, I drove it home personally 3 days. I thought to myself, I'd love to have this thing. Went down the freeway at 75 just fine. It's just a nice Jeep. It's a 12 with low miles.
Got it. Nice Jeep.
Anyway, they came down, they looked at it, they test drove it took a lengthy test drive, probably close to an hour.
Okay.
Purchased the vehicle, took it home, and they did call and had a problem with the Jeep. So we offered to have it towed down to our shop and exactly have ourselves look at it. And I will tell you, on a
hold on, I want to ask her something real quick. Jerry, when they offered to have it towed back down to the shop, why didn't you do that?
We did do that.
Oh, they did do that. Okay, yeah, John, so when you looked at it, what did you find?
So we got the Jeep down to the shop, and we looked over the bill that she had with it. And I will say, on here it has a new set of tires. The tires that are on it are great. They're not chopped, feathered. There's no issue with the tires, which I will tell you, on a lifted Jeep is the norm, that they're really choppy and loud and noisy. And these are nice, evenly worn tires.
John, are you telling me, I mean, as it sits right now, though, are you saying there's nothing wrong with this Jeep?
We think there's nothing wrong with it. The tires are good. The suspension is tight.
Well, I got to have, this is an easy one. I just got to have either one of these two guys look at it in front of me or someone else on our referral list. I mean, no offense to you, John, but she's saying she's got a $7,000 estimate, a $3,000 estimate for front-end work. I need to look at this, too. I mean, I realize it's lifted. It's not stock. There is going to be different issues over time, and that's what we got to do. Jerry, where's the vehicle right now?
They picked it up and drove it home.
Jerry, where's the vehicle? John, hold on. Where's the vehicle right now, Jerry?
It's at our house.
Okay, I mean, like Castle Rock, where are you?
We're in Elizabeth, actually. And I want to reiterate what John said, hour drive. That did not happen. As a matter of fact, when we first got there...
Okay, but it's semantics. I mean, it's not... I understand you're frustrated. Jerry, here's where I'm with you 100%, and I'm going to ask John this. John, you sold her a warranty. The warranty company, according to Alpha, is no good. You shouldn't have sold it because it was modified. Are we on the same page there, and are you willing to refund the warranty?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear there. So, Jerry, it sounds like it is a nice Jeep. I don't know. I'm not looking at it. Can you drive it down either to Budget A1 or to Sheridan or someone on our referral list so I can talk to them and give you a real assessment of what I think's going on with it?
Absolutely.
Let's go from there. When can you warranty that money, though, John? Or warranty that money, refund that money?
Process it probably take... it's got to go through us and then through
the credit union.
Warranty. It's probably going to take 2-3 weeks.
And she'll get a full refund on it, though, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So, Jerry, that's going to happen. It will go back to the loan. There's nothing you can do about that. No one's going to hand you cash because the bank owns it. You follow?
Absolutely.
All right. Hold on. Let's do this. John, first of all, I appreciate you coming on. I'm good. I mean, I don't see any issue with anything you guys did. You're refunding the warranty like you should. We're going to have the vehicle looked at, and then we'll figure out what's going on that. If there is some real major problems with this that weren't caused afterwards, are you guys willing to help out?
We really don't see any problems with this Jeep.
So when did you see it? Like in the last week?
I would say it was probably a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, well, if you guys missed something that we can prove was there, is it something you're willing to help with? I'm not going to, listen, we are about as straightforward as it gets. If we think she caused some kind of problem in the last week or so, I'm not saying will you cover that. I'm saying if it looks like there was something pretty big there, are you willing to help out? That's all I'm asking.
In the interest of goodwill, if there was something that was crazy that we missed, yeah, I'm willing to help out.
Yeah, I figured you were. Perfect. That's all I need to hear from you, and I appreciate you coming on, man. And where are you guys located, by the way? One Source Auto.
1323 Motor City Drive in Colorado Springs.
Oh, okay. I kind of get that idea down there. You know, we've always looking for good used car places down there. You know,
it's the old Larry Miller Toyota dealership. It's called One Source Auto.
Oh, so yeah, it's a pretty big place.
It's a big place.
Yeah, okay, cool. I really do appreciate you coming on, too, and I appreciate you getting that warrantied. And, you know, the used car business, I was in the automotive business forever, not on your side, the sales side, but on the repair side, it's a tough business, man. The reps aren't great. You know, let me ask you something, though. When people walk up to your shop, is there still guys out front smoking cigarettes waiting for you? Is that the norm still?
You know what? If you pass by some of these big mainstream dealerships, it's the norm.
It is the norm, and it drives me insane.
It really is. I hate it. You know, I said all my life, you know, I've been doing this since '87.
Yep.
And I said, if I ever do this on my own, I'm not going to do any of that stuff that I hated doing when I sold cars back in '87. All
right, John, I appreciate you coming on again. 303-713-8255. Drew's got a gun to my head. I got to take a break.
That vehicle.
This report.
I mean, it really doesn't matter. She bought it. I know where you're going with it, but I think they wanted that Jeep. I mean, ultimately, I think someone's looking at it that doesn't know about lift kits.
It smells like Lysol in here.
Yes.
So I got a hold of Gina, and she was snarky as all get out.
Suzanne,
And
we have
then she said, so
you don't like it either?
she, like when I said it's 30-day notice, she goes, that's fine. And she just was like hurt and everything. I said, well, Tom wants to talk to Steve. Well, not right now.
Yeah, it was the day before.
And so then I called Steam Pros and tried to get, and she answered again, and she said, no, he's not in, and he's not going to be until later this afternoon.
Pull him down right now.
I did. I said, what time? And she said 11 o'clock he'll be in the office.
I want both.
In fact, it's very traditional.
They are.
New Year's.
I took them both down, and so.
I just,
Big
I know
sukiyaki.
people love the texture and stuff. I mean, I like
Tell Suzanne I want her to reach out and try to get Steve on the air.
Well, Steve does not have, do you have a Steve
Nope,
cell phone?
I got nothing.
I don't either. And I asked Gina for it, and she goes, I'm not giving you that.
I want her on the air. I want, so you can either ask Gina to come on the air with me right now, or tell her I want to talk without her on the air. So, but they need to have that opportunity.
Now, why is it?
Or Steve, I'll wait till 11 o'clock if he's going to be there at 11. But if he's not going to come on, don't waste my time.
So why is it not an issue? Because if the customer bought that vehicle thinking, hey, if I can get a warranty on it, then I'll buy it.
Because most warranties are shit anyhow.
Well, that's true. But the customer
If I attempted to get every
Oh, yeah.
vehicle returned because a warranty wouldn't fix something,
and then how do they know something's pre-existing?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how many miles on it? There's going to be a lot of pre-existing things that are going to happen down the road. So technically, a warranty company can say everything is pre-existing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, though. It's
Yeah,
a joke.
the hard part is when you buy a car, and 10 days after you buy the car, you're calling the warranty company with a $7,000 bill.
And they
That's
agree.
pre-existing. I'm
Right.
sorry. I mean,
Right.
you have a tie rod, a ball
Okay, what if
joint.
it's 3 months down the road?
No, I'm saying it's not even 30 days out. I mean, you got
Right,
400
no, I
miles,
understand.
400 or 500 miles
I
on
mean,
the Jeep.
technically is what I'm saying, though. You could say everything is pre-existing. The thing's got 60,000 miles on it.
That's what warranties are. Every one of those warranties are like that.
Yeah, it's a joke. Everything is pre-existing.
Those warranties are a joke.
To
for
a
the most
point,
part.
I mean, if they really want to try to wiggle,
Yeah,
you know, but
all do.
within the first couple weeks of owning the car,
right.
no, the whole front end is completely worn out. It happened, you know.
Okay, so let's say after a week of buying a car, the fuel pump goes out.
No, that's different. That's not a
Anytime,
warranty car.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you can show you got 1,200, 1,500 miles on it, and the fuel pump went out, I've never had trouble with that.
Okay.
You know, I've had trouble with transmissions, you know, or other things a week later, and there's like 82 miles on the car, and there, you know, things like that.
Hey, babe, is that still her on 4, right?
There's too many places that sell the warranty to fix the stuff that they know is wrong. That is
Oh, did you give her
That lady, I tried to get
one
on
of
her
these
stuff.
two?
Your son, it's a daily driver.
Yeah, that's insane.
Buy a lifted Jeep.
That's insane.
Okay.
I says they're dangerous.
Dan, call her up.
Call who?
The lady that was just on. She erased the fucking number and shit, so I don't know. I don't even remember her name. The lady with the Jeep.
Okay, and ask what?
Tell her how to get it to one of these two shops.
Okay.
And get it there as soon as we can so they can look at it.
Very good.
If she's in Elizabeth,
Yeah, there's nowhere close.
maybe Al's shop.
Yeah.
Up here? On the L? Well, actually, I mean, you're going to 470, right?
He's
I
close.
mean, that's not bad, Santa Fe.
You take 85.
I don't think, we don't have anybody in Parker, do we? I don't think we do.
Okay, well, I got her numbers on that thing.
Just give her the option. I don't even care. I mean, I just want a real set of eyeballs on it, though.
Or Colorado.
She might be
Springs.
just trying to get.
Honest Acura is down there. Depending on where you're in Elizabeth, you can go down the back way, you know, Parker Road down to Colorado Springs.
Or she'd go right to right at the end of 83's Colorado Springs Dodge, basically. Andy Burrell would look at it.
Sure.
So fake news matters? Yes, fake news matters.
Leave it up to her. I mean, I don't know. For all we know, she works in Elizabeth, or she works in Colorado Springs.
I don't miss that drive. I used to live out there.
All right, 303-713. I got to tell you, Jeff held forever and a day. It's been a real busy week. Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
You got it. Thank you for holding yesterday and possibly the day before. Go ahead, sir.
No problem. Well, I need some help. I'm looking for some advice.
Sure.
Let me back you up. So in August, I bought a Jeep Renegade. By the way, I'm a long Jeep customer. I've had a lot of problems with Jeep mechanical-wise. People always tell me, why'd you go back to them? But I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. But I bought a Jeep Renegade. I'm having no mechanical issues with it. I've got a very different issue. To me, talk radio is very important. So I listen to terrestrial, I listen to satellite radio.
Okay, Jeff, I appreciate all your listening habits, but what's going on?
Okay. The Sirius radio, from the minute I bought the car, has disruptions. It continues to cut in and out,
Does it say weak signal?
It does.
Okay.
It says weak signal. It will cut out sometimes in certain areas, sometimes frequent areas, other areas. If I'm driving, when I work downtown through I-25, you cannot listen to talk radio on Sirius Radio.
See, I can listen to it. Let me tell you about mine, because I listen to Sirius. I listen to Howard Stern, and I like him. So for anybody that doesn't, I don't care. So if I drive 25 from Elizabeth straight downtown, even past downtown to, say, I-70, I'll never drop his signal whatsoever. If I go under a bridge, when I exit Monaco to come to work, I'll lose it under the bridge. And occasionally, once a week on I-25 or something, I might lose it, but not like what you're describing. Does yours go out constantly?
It does. It goes out constantly. It goes out in some of the exact same areas, but it also goes out randomly in other areas. It makes, if you're listening to music, you've heard these songs a million times. It's still annoying, but with talk radio, you completely lose.
Now,
it's unlistenable.
Now, the good news, hold on, the good news is, you realize, I'm sure you have Bluetooth in that vehicle, right?
I do.
If you download the iHeart app, you can listen to virtually everything across the country that iHeart owns and more, and basically Bluetooth it right in if we can't get this fixed. I mean, the iHeart app, by the way, too, is free.
Correct. And the one thing I want to say is when I bought the car, they did not have this Renegade that I wanted for the price with Sirius Radio. I had to wait 2 extra days. They found one in town. They brought it in. They knew it was important to me.
But it's not aftermarket, right?
It is not. It is not. It was directly brand new car.
So when you bring it back up, I'm going to ask you 2 point-blank questions. If I drive your car or have someone drive with you, say just down the I-25 corridor, is it going to come in and out?
Yes.
So we can definitely duplicate the issue. Has Larry H. Miller duplicated the issue?
Yes, and they have had the car now for over 2 months. They've called me no less than. What do you mean? So you've left it there for 2 months because of the radio not working? That is correct. Why? I've been in a loaner car. They've put me into a loaner car, which, by the way, was a brand new loaner car. They knew I was frustrated, so they put me into a Jeep Compass. Yeah. Brand new. It still had the window sticker on it. Okay. I've been driving that vehicle now for 2 months. And it works fine. Does it have satellite radio? Yes, and it's not cut out once. And so what do they say? Okay, I understand. So what do they say? Are they waiting for Ford, or not Ford? Are they waiting for Jeep, or what are they doing? Okay, I'll tell you what they've done. They've replaced the radio twice. Yeah. They've replaced the antenna twice. They've replaced all the wiring, ripping out the inside of the car and under the dash twice. Well, I mean, then it must be fixed. I mean, really, that's everything there is that I know of that has to do with satellite radio. Suzanne, can we get Bryant on with Lakewood Auto Electric? I'd like to do that. Hold on a second, all right? Because I'm stumped, and it's still down there right now. It is down there. I'm still in their loaner vehicle. And it's not an aftermarket anything. No, sir. Everything was original parts. The problem started. Kevin, Mark, real quick, what do you think? This sounds amazing.
It sounds, they've replaced the entire system twice, and still.
Well, the antenna, the wiring in between.
And the radio, there's nothing else there.
I mean, if they really did, though, the one I question is the wiring in between that antenna way up here. Although they've had it 2 months, I mean, my God, what else would have they been?
I'm wondering if they almost have an intermittent bad ground problem.
Yeah, but if they replaced all the wiring in between... And, hey, Jeff, does it happen like if you're playing a CD or listening to 630 KHOW, or if you're listening to the iHeart app, does it happen? Okay, I haven't tried to plug in, my phone to the iHeart app. I have, but if you're listening to regular AM or FM radio, it does not cut out once. This is clearly a serious satellite issue. Built inside. I wonder if they've updated it, because occasionally mine will update the actual, satellite deal. And I wonder if anybody else out with a new Jeep has this issue. Well, I'll tell you what the service people. My service, they're sick of seeing me. I've been down there so much. I bet. The people that check the people that check my car in, the young gentlemen that check it in and say, what's your problem? Yeah. I'll ask them, are you having problems with these? They tell me yes, and then they say, we're not going to talk about it, but you need to talk to the service manager. By the way, I need to say this. The service manager down there has been great in one respect. Well, they gave you, they gave you a rental, or not a rental, but they gave you a car to use. It's brand new, so it's kind of a strange one. And this would never fall under the Lemon Law, because you can still drive the vehicle. Well, that was my question. So while I was waiting on hold, I pulled up the Colorado Lemon Law for under the Colorado Gov, and it says, and it quote me if I'm wrong, it says when has a defect that substantially impairs the use and market value within 1 year of purchase. Is a radio issue not considered lemon law? God, no. No, absolutely not. If you can't drive the vehicle or it's unsafe, it would. Like your airbags. Let's say you can drive the vehicle perfectly, but the airbag's on, so the system isn't on. That would be a problem. Okay. So there is no lemon law here. We just got to get it fixed for you. But really, Larry Miller's doing everything they're supposed to. But what I still don't understand is just the bottom line. Why in the world this thing, if they replaced everything they said, I just got to ask Bryant from Lakewood Electric. Hold on, man. Hold on. By the way, Frank Duran, the real estate man, I talk about Frank all the time. He's a good friend of mine. I met Frank 2 or 3 years ago, and I am so happy I hired him to sell our house in Castle Rock and negotiate and buy our house, or help us buy our house in Franktown. I'm telling you, the guy's wonderful. I felt like his only customer. He would drive out anytime someone wanted to see the house. He created this frenzy when he first listed it. The guy's great. I can't put it any other way. He got me more than what we were asking for on the house. He does it in a way that is amazing, and it really works. And then he negotiated and saved me close to $100,000 on the house we were buying, even in this market, folks. He's an amazing man. If you're buying or selling a house, 303-920-1622, Frank Duran, the real estate man. Just call him right now. You can even ask him, hey, should I sell it now? Should I wait till after the snow? This guy is so straightforward. If he thinks it's better for you to wait because of the area, and let's say you're in the mountains, he'll tell you. 303-920-1622, FrankDuranHomes.com.
Hi, it's Botus. Yes, it's after that.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, it's Mark.
There's quite a few.
I'm not doing good, man. I still got the same guy that you said you were going to reach out to in emails 3 or 4 times. I got Gina leaving messages that, quite frankly, are insane. And then I've got a new complaint that comes in today, basically the same thing. You guys answer no complaints, you don't do anything. I've already taken you down from the referral list, so I don't know what's going on with you guys over there. How do you tell me you're going to reach out 2, 3, 4 times and never do it? And Gina never did it either, and she told me she was.
There's quite a few on here. No apparent reason. You know, just, but there's quite a few forums about it.
Steve, I have your emails right here saying you were going to call him the next day, and then 5 days later I get nothing from him. This guy has blew up my email probably 10 times, and not one person has reached out to him. Then I get another one today that I'm to the point where I don't think I'm going to even get a reply from you guys, Steve.
Do you guys work on lists? It's probably the worst thing that ever.
There's people in this aftermarket mostly that do something forever. We did it over They're getting cheaper and cheaper.
All right, I'll let Daphne give it to you here in a minute.
What does he want?
Go in there and give him the information on the two, or you call him back on his cell phone. That's what you do.
I need to get his cell phone number, which Gina will give me. Oh, and Gina said to me that I am the she's at the top, that I treat customers like shit. And I said, you know what? Nobody else has referrals. I said, for some reason, you do not listen. And the problem has been since you started getting involved, Gina. And she goes, that's just rude. I don't know. And I said, and I said to Steve the same thing. I said, Steve, everything, all the communication through Mark fell apart when Gina got involved. I said, so.
Yeah, you have to swerve out of the way.
Oh,
that's it.
I'll bet you do roll it.
Yeah, I totally agree. You're gonna roll it.
Anybody who buys an after, I have a big list, I look at it and says, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Well, it looks cool, like you said. They like that cool factor. It's badass.
You're right.
You know, it's badass. And then the tires are $400 a piece.
God, people are
just like this differential. I mean, these tires on this.
I know, that's crazy.
Shane's like,
he did good. He looked really good in the video.
oh, good.
Like
Shane?
Oh, yeah.
Like I mean, he looked like a tech teacher, you know, that would be explaining this stuff to the students. So I mean, don't tell him that. He looked good.
Okay, I'll do it.
Looked real good.
I'll do it. Yeah, we had a customer come in. They had it at Lakewood Auto Electric, their vehicle. I don't remember which vehicle it was, Mark. But they had it for a couple of weeks. Couldn't figure out what the deal was. I don't even know what the deal was. Customer brings it over to us. I'm telling you, within a half hour, Shane figured it out.
That ground is the biggest thing.
I forgot what it was, but Shane's like, man, I figured it out. Man, I need to get that tool that Kevin has, though.
Let's get Shane a raise.
Shane no, seriously, he's awesome.
Sometimes though, fresh eyes is everything. You know, you get an electrical
You know what,
problem,
you're right,
you
without
can
a preconceived,
and you can walk right into it, and you kind of.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So Shane's thinking it's a satellite antenna on that Renegade.
Well, I mean, it's got to be obviously a reception problem. It's not a power problem because it's not powering off.
Consider a mini concierge program at Grossman.
I didn't hear the whole thing, so it's just wigging out now and then, right? This,
Yeah, it cuts in and out constantly.
But it's cutting in and out at times where other ones are not because he has another Jeep
Right.
seriously that's fine.
My doctor today at 303 or
But they put two antennas and wiring harnesses on the.
At least they say they did.
Okay, well, I mean, but they got the guy.
Did you get his
involved.
cell number?
They're not going to know.
But like I say, the power is, it's not the power.
No, because it's not totally.
Can you get a power satellite antenna?
I don't know.
Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep.
Why not take the one out of the Jeep he's driving and put it in the Jeep?
There you go.
Put a different antenna in the back, like a manual, because I got a manual service.
Chad dropped off.
What?
Chad dropped
Like
off.
the
He didn't,
aftermarket
like,
kind
you know,
of-
he's trying to run a business too, but did you want Chad on the air still? Or you want
Yes,
him to
I'd
be
love
out
to
there?
have Chad.
Okay.
It's got there's a breakdown system.
I am gonna go downstairs and send him all of that stuff, and I said, Steve,
They got no
do you
reason
want
not
to still be on the
to.
referral list? He said, yes. No one ever, I said, Gina said to take you down. I said, there's a 36-day notice. She said, that's fine, and he said, no.
All right, 303-713-8255. We're trying to get Bryant from Lakewood Electric or someone over there. We'll get that, then we'll come back to Jeff, and we'll follow up with that. But that's pretty strange on that satellite radio. In fact, thank you, Suzanne. She just got Bryant up. Hey, Bryant, what's going on, man?
Hey, how are you, Mark?
Hey, long time no see.
Right.
I saw Bryant yesterday. This guy helped me out with my kid's car. We had some electrical stuff going on. 24 hours later, the car's perfect. Other people couldn't figure it out. We'll just kind of leave it at that, and I appreciate it, Bryant. That was great.
More than welcome, Mark.
And you were slamming down there. My God, every bay full, double stacked, parking lot full.
Yeah.
He's got this. Have you seen that machine, Kevin? Didn't you get one of those?
I got two of them.
You bought two of them?
One for each store, yeah.
Bryant, for all you technicians out there, Brian, are you even selling to the public yet, people you don't know? I mean, I know you know Kevin.
Yeah, not really. I mean, they can go to a website and find the tool and they can buy it. But
how do you describe what that machine does?
That is a tool that helps you identify and deal with parasitic drains on cars. So, you know, all these cars are so computerized nowadays that when you turn the car off, the vehicle is really not off. It's doing a bunch of functions, trying to clock down and go to sleep, if you will, electrically.
Yep.
And a lot of times you have systems that get hung up, or simply people can leave things on inadvertently. And so what that does is it causes a drain on the battery, so you come back to a dead battery. So we invented a tool that basically aids you in finding that and fixing it. Makes it a whole lot easier.
To give people an understanding how it used to work, how my guys would do it in Goodyear back in the day, it would generally be two people. You'd have a test light on one side, and you'd pull a fuse, connect it, you'd have this on or that on, then you'd go to the next one, then the next one. I mean, it could take hours upon hours upon hours. When I was there picking up Miles' car yesterday, what was that car right in front of the bay that it was?
Yeah, there was one, a fully electric Ford Focus, you know, a very late model electric Ford Focus. So, you know, these electric cars have the hybrid battery,
and then the regular battery,
and then the regular 12-volt battery. So you still have that same issue. You know, Teslas will have that same issue. Priuses will have that same issue. Yeah.
So he had this thing, his concoction hooked up to it, and it's really cool. It's fancy. It looks like a Snap-on machine. So basically, he has it hooked up to it, and I look over and I can see it through the window. It says 118 minutes. So that thing basically runs through all these electrical tests looking for the drain, but it can take, depending on if it finds it quick. I mean, why does it take 118 minutes? Why would it take 10 minutes? Why would it take 3 hours?
Because it basically adapts. Every car has different parameters. If you're working on a 55 Chevy truck, it's very different than this, 2017 all-electric Ford Focus. So there's different needs and requirements by the manufacturer, and that's why you have different batteries that have different amp hours. Each battery
manufacturer builds a vehicle and they put the appropriate battery that can handle that load. So there's different requirements for that, and so that's all built into the tool. So the tool will adapt to what's going on in the vehicle, and that's why you get different amounts of time. Also, when there's an anomaly, when there's a problem, that sends the tool into a different algorithm that is going to take longer, and likely it might fail that vehicle. So Kevin, instead of you, and you said you bought 2 of these, or even Mark, think of this, instead of having 2 of your employees track down a leak, you have this machine on there, and your other employees are turning wrenches, making you money.
Well, even the guy working on the car, you don't have to sit with the machine.
No, it was sitting there by itself.
Yeah, no, you set it, walk away, come back and read your report.
What website is that, Brian? Then I got to ask you the real reason I called you. Okay, electricmotion.net. Electricmotion.net for more information. Now listen, Jeff called up. Listen to this.
Okay.
His vehicle has been down at Larry H. Miller for 2 months because the satellite radio does not work. It'll work as he's driving down the highway. It goes in, it goes out, it goes in, it goes out. I have a satellite radio too. Mine works perfect on I-25 corridor. His, if you get in it for 10-15 minutes, it'll lose signal constantly. They say they replaced the head unit, they replaced the antenna twice, the head unit twice, and they replaced all the wire in between. What the hell else could it be?
Wow. Wow, that's a tough one. I mean, it sounds like they literally replaced everything in that system. Pretty tough.
Oh my God! I went to bring Jeff up and I killed him. Suzanne, would you please get Bryant?
I'm here.
No, I know you are, Jeff. I accidentally killed Bryant. Hold on, I'm going to put you on hold till we get him back up. But I do. Bryant was saying the same thing. What possibly else could there be? He doesn't think so. So are you positive they actually replaced everything in the middle?
Am I positive? I mean,
they said they replaced every piece of wire in between the antenna and the head unit. You're saying
that's what they told me. And then every time we'd go down there, the service manager would get in the car with me. We do this little loop about a 2-mile drive.
Yeah.
And we're cut out like crazy. He'd roll his eyes, say, "Bring it back. This is obviously not working." They've done this. The last time, Mark, they had somebody, they said, from Chrysler that came out, and the Chrysler person looked at the car, drove it, and said, he drove it the same loop that we've been driving, and says, he came back and just said this: the radio's working at I'm trying to give you the exact wording. The radio is working with normal disruptions or something like that. And I said, what the heck does that mean? We went in and talked to the general manager. He thinks it's nonsense. And
all right, regardless, Bryant, what else could it be? Because they're saying they replaced everything.
Yeah, so if they replaced everything that belongs to that system and you're still having an issue in that car, to me it's not something that's happening environmentally or interference-wise with the vehicle. I think it's something of the vehicle, something innate to the car. I would look for something, a charging system type of issue, something that has to do with the electronics of the vehicle, of your own specific vehicle, so that your vehicle might be causing an interference in these circumstances.
Like maybe the Bluetooth, or maybe this or that, or a sensor.
Something else of the vehicle. And what I would recommend is eliminating those systems one at a time. And then seeing if you can isolate just the satellite system by itself, and if you can get the system to function by itself, then you conclusively know that it's something of your car that's interfering with that system.
Be the security system too.
Yeah, security. Anything that has an RF signal,
it
like
could
that.
be
Garage door openers, OnStar, anything like that.
Man, that's crazy. All right, well, I mean, that's about it. So, Bryant, you could fix it, I guarantee it.
Yeah, we could take a.
But it's under warranty. He would hate to bring it to you under warranty. I mean, Jeff, that's one issue. Maybe if they agreed to pay Bryant and Lakewood Electric, maybe that's one way to go.
Yeah, and I would actually run that scenario by that service writer and say, hey, how about isolating? And we don't want to tell anybody how to do their job, but that is a logical course of action if given the scenario that you guys are describing, to try to eliminate other systems that have RF and interference capability And so eliminate those from the system, and then piecemeal add them back into the system, and they should be able to isolate.
If he bought one of these cheap aftermarket Sirius XM receivers directly from Sirius, they come with the little magnetic antenna that pops on the top.
Yep.
He doesn't even got to mount it and stuff. He can run it through the window for a test, and then brought it in and used like an FM transmitter to go to the radio, and it worked. That would pretty much prove that there's no signal issue whatsoever.
Yeah, and there, I believe just from what you guys are saying, there's definitely a problem with the reception. But I kind of doubt that those systems are malfunctioning. The satellite system is probably not malfunctioning. It's something that's interfering with it, and it probably belongs to the car.
Yep.
So he's got another malfunction that's being covert, that's being difficult to locate, and it could be as simple as a blown diode in an alternator. Some AC current coming backwards to the rectifier of the alternator can cause stuff like that. It used to cause static in your radio where you'd hit the gas and you could hear the alternator charging through the speakers. That kind of thing nowadays comes across as interfering with signals and that sort of thing. So they need to look at other things in that system.
All right. Hey, Brian, I appreciate it. And, Jeff, that's it. If you can talk them into picking up the bill, I'm sure Bryant can figure it out for Jeep. I hate to say that, but I think that's the reality of it. And that's about it. Brian, I appreciate it. Both of you, 303-713-8255. By the way, Lakewood Auto Electric, 303-231-0903. Any electrical problems, the guy's a brainiac, man. I mean, the guy can find anything with any kind of vehicle when it comes to electrical. I mean, anything. He will be able to fix this. I have no doubt about it. It just comes down to a cost time. I mean, you're going to be paying him to figure out why Jeep has an issue, it sounds like. 303-231-0903. That's Lakewood Auto Electric. We'll be back right after these messages.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
There's a couple of trouble spots in the metro area. Drive, crash in the cleanup stages. Westbound C470 approaching I-70. The right lane is blocked. Watch out for wreck off highway on Lincoln Street at 8th Avenue. Police remain on the scene. Down south, northbound I-25 has reopened between Founders Parkway and Lincoln Avenue. However, westbound Lincoln Avenue remains closed from I-25, and the ramp from southbound I-25 to Lincoln Avenue is also shut down. That's for the procession for Officer Parrish. The weather forecast: partly sunny today with a high near 54. Right now, mostly cloudy skies in Denver and 49. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock.
Is your personal info for sale on the dark web? Monitoring your credit can't show you, but LifeLock sees a wide range.
Your identity. If something happens, U.S.-based specialists can work to fix it. Go to lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK. Save 10%. Let's talk about John Fuller.
Oh, shit. I keep forgetting to pull up spots, man.
Where's Thomas? Is he on vacation?
Yeah. Injury attorney. If you've been hurt in an automobile accident or in any other way, no wonder.
Kelly said this one source auto has slime all over him, in my opinion.
What'd you say?
This one comments, this one source auto has slime all over him. I thought he was a good guy.
I thought he was pretty straight.
Yeah, why would they say slime all over?
This Kelly Koss, whatever she ever.
Ask why. I'm curious why.
If he takes the case, it's only.
I don't know them from anybody. They're willing to refund the entire thing. I mean, what's the issue? Unless if she's had a bad deal with them, maybe she's had a run-in with them.
Should you be the one to suffer? Don't feel guilty. What you need.
I just think there's expectations when you get a lifted Jeep. You just don't
Absolutely.
get it. Especially a used one.
And she says, oh, it's not safe, it's not safe. I told her, buying that Jeep there that you got is not safe.
What expectations are you referring to?
In a lifted Jeep,
right?
You go to a used car lot and buy a lifted Jeep, and wow, you have front end problems.
Front end, driving, jumping.
Who would have saw that coming?
Right.
Yeah.
No, you guys are. I'll bet you I'll bet you guys would never buy that for your kids.
No.
Well, I wouldn't, but I mean, people like that shit, man. We're in Colorado.
But when people say,
I wouldn't want my kid to die. I wouldn't worry about how the Jeep was. I don't want him taking it off cliffs.
No, what I'm saying is that thing will roll over. Like, say you have a quick maneuver and stuff. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't buy it. It has nothing to do with it just being lifted.
Yeah, but sitting on a used lot, I mean, it's been used.
It's definitely been used.
So, what's left of it.
And think of how it's been used.
Sure.
It's like buying an old 5.0 Mustang with 100,000 miles on it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yourretirement.com.
Yeah. My son wanted to lift up his Jeep. I'd say, sell one of your Bitcoins. You do it yourself.
Does he have a Bitcoin?
Just kidding. You probably got a bunch of Bitcoins. You do coins.
Yeah, I don't do anything.
Someone traded him a whole box of it.
That stuff's crazy, isn't it?
The Bitcoin, I went to Schwab yesterday on a different thing, and I asked him, so what's Charles Schwab say about the best thing? He says, you know what the most people that come in there and ask? Bitcoins. He says, we don't deal with them.
They will be.
No, I don't think so.
Here we go. Yeah, I know. Well, okay. Notice how I said
Just
that.
because they don't.
Okay. Stops me. How do you get out of it?
Well, you know, you can get out.
You get Coinbase and other places.
It just takes a while.
Convert it, but I mean, some of these Ripple and all these others, it's hard to get your cash.
See, I could.
Yeah, but don't you think that's going to get easier once it? It's got to get easier. That's the bottom line. If it's going to survive, it's got to.
Venezuela.
And people got to start taking them.
But when they start adding more and more and more currencies on there, doesn't that undercut the ones that are there?
Absolutely.
You know, so you get the Ripple that started at 2.
Dan, I'm going to ask you to read that comment about.
Oh, okay.
Just give her first name. I don't want to give last names out from her.
Why do you say that, Kelly? I thought he was good when I talked to him. I don't remember anything.
Well, I'm just curious. I'd like to know what people think. I thought he sounded. I've talked. First of all, he came on the air.
Absolutely.
You know how many people don't come on the air?
Absolutely, you're exactly right.
And then second of all, he's refunding the entire warranty with no questions.
Sure.
And he was trying to do addendum.
And he's saying there's no issue there, and she's going to bring it down to someone, and we'll know if there is or not.
Right.
You know, it is car day. I want to talk about Century RV, the largest inventory of used RVs in the state. And I got to give you a little secret. If you're buying an RV, I don't care if it's a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, a Class A, a Class C, a new one, a used one, they've got everything. Keystone, Forest River, Dutchman, Heartland, and Cougar. Now's the best time. We're sitting in winter. These guys will wheel and deal. Give them a call. You're going to get the best pricing, and summer's going to be coming up. You're going to have a brand new travel trailer. Call them. They have 2 locations. In fact, with the largest inventory, used inventory in the state, I suggest you go down there. They've got a new location right here in the metro area at 6th Avenue, just west of Kipling, next to Woodley's, and then on I-25 just north of Denver at the Longmount exit, number 119. But give them a call or check out their inventory on their website, CenturyRV.com. Maybe head down there tomorrow on Saturday and check it out. CenturyRV.com, 303-453-1111, but check them out. You got to hit one of these locations. They're unbelievable, and like I said, the secret is go buy it right now. It's the best time of year to buy an RV. All right, 303-713-8255. And real quick, Tony says he's got another Jeep issue with a stereo. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on it. I have a Dodge Ram.
Yep.
That I would lose satellite capability. I don't have the stereo, so I don't know what his particular issue was on there. But I took my truck in 3 times because it forced me to do a software update in the truck.
Yeah.
I took it in 3 times. They could not solve this problem. They kept telling me, oh, we had bad Wi-Fi. It was a bad download. They rebooted and reset the stereo. And after the 3rd time I took it in, I called RAM, and the lady put me through to engineering. They wouldn't even take my call. They just told her to tell me that it's a known problem, but they won't have a fix or a way to back out to the original operating system on it until sometime this year.
Oh, that sucks, man. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that note on it. That reminds, one line open, 303 Martino, 303-713-8255. I had DirecTV a while back, and it reminds me, when AT&T bought them, they did some update on all the HDs. So all of a sudden, when this one commercial would play, and it was one about, what's that legal gambling, guys, or it used to be, for fantasy football. There's a couple real big ones that advertised heavily a couple years ago. I think the laws have changed and they can't advertise as much. But every time one of those would come on, it would freeze up my DirecTV. So I'd have to reboot the whole thing. And it took forever for them to acknowledge there was an issue. Now, the good news is they ended up crediting me for like 60 days. But it's the same thing. Sometimes when these firmwares hit, it can screw stuff up. My RX-8, Kevin, was back at the shop probably 3-4 months the first year getting reprogrammed. And, you know, I could have got a lemon law on it, but it was the car I wanted. So.
And those systems are hard to, you know, isolate, like, Brian's talking about, is isolating things out of it. It's not easy.
And then figuring out how to update every other one that was released without, you know, blowing the car up or something. All right, 303-713-8255. Let me see who's been holding here the longest. Let's go with Andre. What's going on, Andre? Andre. All right, I'll put Andre on hold. We'll check back with him. Lynn, what's going on?
Hey, Mark?
Yes.
Hi, this is Lynn.
How are you?
Okay, so back on December 21st, I was hit head-on.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I actually walked away from that thanks to my Subaru Outback. I mean, there's no reason I should have, like, yeah.
Man, they should pay you for a commercial. I mean, really, Subaru, most of their commercials are safety. The one with the, you know, the girl gets the Subaru the parents used to drive, and they feel safe. She's in the Subaru. That's pretty cool, Lynn. So, going back to the accident, though, real quick, then we'll come back to you after break. Was it the other person's fault or yours?
It was the other person.
Okay, hold tight. This is crazy. A head-on. That's scary stuff. 303-713-8255. We've got a lot coming up. Duke's got an issue, and we're going to dig into that. We're also going to dig into some updates I wanted to talk about. My name's Mark Major, and guess what? You're on the Troubleshooter Network.
This is Michael.
Didn't they used to say that about Volvo?
Yeah, they did back in the day.
And now they're owned
could
by
roll
Ford.
over. They showed the Volvos rolling over and everything. Yeah.
Oh, hey, here's another thing.
That is a great
I'm trying to
ad
get
for
this
Subaru,
truck
though.
sold. I'm trying to get this truck sold on Blinker.
Which one?
It's a big, big box truck that we have.
Oh, I've seen it down
It's
there.
that big, but it's a Sterling.
Good luck with that.
So Scott's been trying to call, what's his name? I gave Scott the card. Anyway, he doesn't return.
How old's the vehicle?
I don't know what year it is.
That guy, just so you know, that guy's just the advertising guy. As far as the technology, if that vehicle is 82 or
no,
is it 96 or 82?
Sterling's newer than that, yeah.
Yeah, it's newer than that.
Okay.
But they don't have a listing for
I was
Sterling.
going to say you probably can't find Sterling.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even. I thought it was a something Sterling.
Well,
Sterling
it's
was
Dodge. Basically, it's a Dodge, but it's...
They had their own thing for a little bit?
Dodge made Sterling?
Isn't it a Dodge chassis under it?
I didn't know that.
I'm not sure what engine or transmission is in.
Because we got a tow truck in there right now. It's a Sterling, and it's a Dodge chassis. But I don't know exactly the difference between them.
What's number one?
I didn't hear that.
Oh. Of course it is, that fucking idiot. You know, I love Trump, but going and suing, having the White House sue them, all it did was have them release the book early, duh, and then give it more publicity than anything in the world. Why? On certain things, and I know, on certain things I love when he tweets. In fact, on most things. But on this, he just hurt himself. There was no purpose in doing it. The guy is crazy.
Well, just like getting after that guy from Big Baller.
Who's Big Baller?
The shoes. The guy from the...
Oh, I loved when he went after him. He got his kid back from freaking a jail.
Right,
I'd go after him too.
All he did was publicize the Big Baller guy. I'll bet you he's...
Yeah, but he doesn't sell any shoes.
Right, I agree there. But he got publicity out of it.
Yeah, as an idiot, though, Dan. I know what you're saying. I think it was so bad, I don't think anybody went out and bought Big Baller shoes. I don't own a pair.
Except for the people who want to shove it in Trump's
Although
face.
now I know what I'm getting you for next Christmas. Your own pair of Big Ballers.
500? Can I trade them in? Make sure I can trade them in. They're $500.
Wow.
You know he's
They're not even very good looking.
He's got some factory in China popping them out for like
So it's called
$33.
Big Baller. His sons are basketball players. And stuff.
Right.
But they're not.
No, his sons are thieves.
They're in Lithuania.
Two of them are.
Two of them are.
The two younger ones.
Yeah,
They're not even good looking shoes.
Sterling is a Dodge with a different badge is all it is.
So somebody came on and says, hey, I can't worry about affording these. He says, if you can't afford these, you're not a big baller.
Hey, you know, the guy's a marketer. Give him.
He wants to sell his company for $1 billion. How many shoes?
Well, he wanted to license his shoes to like Adidas or Nike for $1 billion.
No, because they're ugly. No one's going to.
They are ugly. They are ugly.
And they're really. I mean, do they actually wear them on the court, or they want to be shoes?
No, nobody will wear them. They all have endorsements.
No, I mean, even his own kids, do they wear them?
Maybe he's one.
Can you see that? Here's a 24-year-old man in the NBA going, "Come on, Dad, I want some Nikes like everybody else." I don't want to wear no
He pulled a 16-year-old out of high school and took him to Lithuania to play pro.
That's thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Lithuania, I didn't know.
It's the only place to take both of them.
So I guess the middle guy also went over there. I guess he's
the one from UCLA, the one that got arrested in China.
I guess he's the worst of the three. When I say the worst of the three, he's not as talented as the.
Yeah, well, they got talent, but nothing, you know.
Right, but not
Did
like
the old man play?
He was a football player.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
From a dashboard on your phone. That's why thousands of companies use NetSuite. It's the only system you need to run your business. Go to NetSuite.
But to say that if you can't afford these, you're not a big baller.
You know.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
If you can't afford them, you're not a big baller. What an advertising.
Well, he learned marketing from the Kardashians.
If you can't afford my...
But the thing about it is the people who watch Kardashians probably can't afford those shoes either.
Sure.
Because they're just
who watches girls?
Right.
Yeah.
Who watches Kardashians?
Yeah.
Stupid people. That could care less about knowing something.
Now, you've heard me talk a lot about stem cell therapy. I've done extensive research.
Folks got Brian.
God, they make his voice sound so weird.
They're internationally
recognized.
Right. We won't even recognize when Tom comes back. He's been gone so long. Hey, you shouldn't sound like this.
I know. We're going to have to tell him to start talking like this all the time.
Please deliver the injections. More experience than any other provider.
Isn't it weird though? Why?
bit.
I think they compress everything, so they squeeze another 30 seconds out of a day. I mean, I don't know. Or maybe Tom went a little over and they had to compress it.
Before you have surgery,
that could be.
Although I don't know Tom to go over.
9201. Explore your options at a true medical regenerative clinic. Centennial Schultz. 303.
Yeah, so if people be there Monday, should try to get us there right away.
9201. And on my referral list at referralist.com.
And the son did the buy-in, but the mom is the one that's never talked to the son. The mom.
Anything new with the gentleman with the Ford vibrating, the F-250? Anything up
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, that $100,000 pickup that has
Crazy. You see, they had like, what is it, up to 3 million looks on the...
Yeah, that's what Mark was saying.
Isn't that crazy?
Any updates on that, Mark? When he took it back? What happened? Anything happened?
What?
On the F-250 vibrating?
What about it?
Any updates on that when he took it back to the dealer?
No, it's at a different dealer. I don't know what the update is yet.
Yeah, where were they going to take it to? Phil Long. I think they were going to take it to Phil Long.
It is at Phil Long. He brought it down right after you guys left.
Switch to Square Trade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
I think it vibrates so bad. I just believe it. Came out. Whoa.
You'll never be stranded because Pro Auto Care offers free roadside assistance for each and every customer. When Pro Auto Care services your car, you get a free 36,000-mile warranty, complete.
God, listen to that voice.
All makes and models, expert tech, 25 years in business, 2 locations, Denver and Littleton, 303 Pro Auto. That's
Okay.
He does have free roadside assistance.
I need to know what he wants to talk about.
O'Reilly's. We do it too.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does it work?
Give them a 1-800 number and they'll reimburse them.
All right, put a ticket in. Please put a ticket in.
Standard data message rate supply. That's locked to 200. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
Is the Troubleshooter Show.
Let's get a pad. You just hand it to the customer.
Have them put a ticket in.
The customer pays for the
It's got to be fixed
and then
at
these
some
guys
point.
Send them a check for reimbursement.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, make your life just a little bit better. It's car day today, and we've got some updates we're going to go over, and we've got a lot of different things happening right here on the Troubleshooter Show. And I'll tell you what, I think Tommy Boy, he better be, unless if he decided to move to California, he should be back in Monday. I can't wait to see how his trip went. I really can't. You know, he got to... Actually, we didn't even have any snow. I was going to say he got to escape the weather. It's the poor people in New York and the East Coast. Have you guys seen this? And by the way, I'm talking to Mark Machowski and Kevin Culkin with Sheridan Auto Tech and Budget A1. Man, they're getting hammered. Would you guys like that weather down there or not?
Like it for what?
For business. Is it good? No way, right? The cold snap's good.
The cold is much better than the snow, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and I think it's good for transmission business, because when people get stuck, they rock their vehicles back and forth, and that hurts the transmission big time.
Well, okay, that
but
makes
you know,
sense.
I like snow. I'm from Long Island. I love snow out there in Long Island. It's beautiful.
All right, listen, real quick here. I want to talk to Brent Ivinson, though. I like talking to Brent all the time. Ooh, that sounded a little weird. Brent, are you there, man?
I am.
Very cool. So what do you want to tell us today? It says here that if you want to buy a house, do you buy it now or do you wait?
Well, I would get the process started now, and here's why. Even if you're looking at buying later on in the year, if we have some time to work with credit, programs, income, down payment, all of those things, we can maximize your buying potential when you ultimately go out and look. The name of the game in home buying right now is this: get as much home for as little payment as possible, and get yourself in a position where you go make that offer, that your offer rises to the top, not because you offered the most amount of money for the home, but because you have already done all your work up front, your loan is approved, and you can close quickly. That's our 3-week closing guarantee.
So your pre-approval, unlike a lot of the other lenders out there, I mean, it's almost like shopping with cash. Once you give these guys the go-ahead and they're out looking for a house, or when they go out and actually find one that they want, I mean, the people know it's going to go through, right?
Well, absolutely. The only thing we need after we've done the initial approval and gone through the whole underwriting process, we need a contract. We need an inspection.
Yep.
We need the appraisal and title work, and we can close. And here's the thing that everyone's got to keep in mind. You make your money when you buy your home, not when you sell it. You've got to buy it right, and if you can get in there and close quickly and give yourself an advantage to not overpay, you insulate yourself down the road when you go to sell.
Listen, folks, if you want the perfect loan, or as I say, the ideal loan, if you need help with your credit optimization, they have custom term loans, the rate guarantee, the pre-approval we just talked about, the list goes on and on. If you want a real lender that's going to hold you by the hand and help you and get you the best deal out there and let you go out and shop like you have cash, you call Ideal Home Loans, 303-867-7000, 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. They're great people. All right, 303-713-8255. I want to get back to Lynn. She called last hour. She was in a head-on accident. The other person, what did they do? Come over to your lane and bam?
Yeah, it was during that snowstorm that we had a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
And, I mean, I was doing fine in my Outback, and I had brand new Michelin XI3 snow tires on my car. I was doing fine.
You know, Michelin and Subaru should just hire her right now. So, okay, I dig 100%. It was their fault, so they slid over. It wasn't like a DUI or anything like that.
No, there was
What kind of vehicle hit you?
It was a Sienna. Can't think of the make here right off. It was an SUV.
Newer or older?
It was a Hyundai. Sienna. You know, I don't know the year of the vehicle, quite frankly.
That's all right. So how can we help you? What happened?
Okay, well, basically, this has to do, I'm going to tell you the insurance that I have on my vehicle, which is liability only, but I've got medical coverage, and I've got uninsured motorists, and I've got uninsured property damage, and all of that, because, you know, I haven't had an accident in 45 years.
So wait a second. You do have uninsured?
Well, I do.
Okay.
I do. But this is taking a very interesting twist, because the driver of the vehicle, 35 years old, anyway, he was excluded from the vehicle that he was driving. So the insurance company, Loya Insurance, said they're not going to cover the claim because he was excluded from that vehicle.
This is crazy. I'd like to, Suzanne, if you'd please try to get Compass up, but we've had this problem before, and the part that drives me nuts, is a lot of the bigger issues we have, there's always a name attached to them, and generally it's Fred Loya. Sometimes
That's what I was
it's
gonna say.
it's amazing how many issues with Fred Loya. Why was this guy why was he not allowed on the policy, or you don't know?
Well, my guess would be because he's a bad driver and they would not insure him. That when they say excluded versus not included, the claims adjuster from Loya said he was excluded from the policy, therefore we will not cover the claim.
Well, what I'm not understanding is you're the one that has, you have uninsured, underinsured, right?
I do.
Okay, so why, I don't know why that would have anything to do with your own insurance not paying.
According to my insurance company, because he was excluded and he was not supposed to be driving the vehicle, they don't know if it's going to be included in uninsured motorist. And this is what threw me for the loop.
Now, wait a minute. Listen. Just the name of the coverage is uninsured. Who is your company?
USAA.
So you're telling me USAA is telling you because he doesn't have insurance, your uninsured motor vehicle coverage isn't going to kick in?
Well, they're talking to the underwriters to find out.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold because we're trying to get one of our experts up, because I got to tell you, I have never heard of anything like this. And if this is true, I'm going to warn everybody in the world, why in the hell would you buy uninsured motorist coverage? Because if they don't have insurance, you're not covered. I don't understand this. Kevin, have you ever heard of anything like this?
No, that's silly. But whose car was this that he was driving if he's not allowed to drive it?
His mother's car.
So she gave him the keys, or he took the car?
We don't know.
Do they own a house?
Exactly.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Well, you're going to have to do some forensic studies here, but I want to get with one of our insurance companies. If Compass isn't available, we have that new one. But I've got to ask about this, because for the life of me, and hold on, Lynn, for the life of me, I can't understand why uninsured. It just makes no sense. I mean, it honestly makes no sense. I thought she was going to tell me she's got Fred Loya too, and then of course it would make sense. I mean, they basically just say nope, no coverage, nope. In my opinion, they're probably the worst out there. If you have them and you ever need to use them, forget about it. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, most of the calls we come in that have to do with not getting paid come from Fred Loya. It's amazing.
I agree.
I thought he was a boxer, but it's not. The boxer was doing the commercials for him.
Right.
All right. Let's do this. Let's go to Kelly. What's going on with you? Hey, Kelly.
Sorry.
You're fine. What's going on, Kelly?
So, here recently I put down a little bit over $2,300 on a used car. I'm working on getting it with a loan, but the bank's only doing 50% loan to value, so I had to get the remaining amount below $3,250. My dad's co-signing this loan with me, but long story short, I put the $2,400 down. The dealership had me leave with the car and said that they would take over communication with the bank. 4 days later, the car breaks down on me.
Okay.
So I called the dealership up, and they said, well, we had a water pump replaced on it. Maybe it's a defective part. Bring it to our shop. So I brought it to their shop, and there was no communication with me. The dealership kind of got in the middle of that, and a week later, or about 4 or 5 days later, I hit the dealership up, and they say, oh, yeah, the car's at our lot. You can come pick it up. So I go pick it up. 23 miles later, I didn't even get the car home that night. Breaks down on me again. So, you know, this was...
But you bought it as is, right? I assume you didn't get it checked out. You bought it as is.
This is correct. However, part of why I was calling...
Hey, I'm just saying that because from a legal stance, I still haven't heard a problem yet.
Okay. I guess, you know, to clarify, the sale is not final.
Okay.
They're still waiting on $3,250.
Well, the sale's probably final because you signed it. They're trying to sell the paper, but I would guess you bought it from them. Or you're saying you never went in and signed anything.
So I signed, but they need us to re-sign it because since my dad is co-signing on the loan, they said that the bank said all that paperwork has to be signed by my dad as well.
Well, that would be, I guess, if he's going to co-sign, maybe you just want to get the hell out of this thing. Can you walk away from it? Why, if you've had so many problems with this at this time, why would you want to re-sign on it? Or do they have it fixed?
And that's my problem, is I've got $2,400 down. All the paperwork has to be signed by my dad. My dad said, I'm not signing for a car that doesn't work. And they've said, well, we're not taking the car back unless you're going to forfeit that $2,400.
And, man, I don't know what you signed. What's dealership says?
I'm sorry?
What dealership is it?
Island Motors.
Where are they at? I don't know why
They're
that
off,
sounds familiar.
South Broadway in Inglewood. The first person that answered said that they believe you guys have dealt with them before.
Yeah, well, it sounds like we have. I don't know if that was good, bad, or an indifferent. And if Suzanne said that, she's right. I know it because I've heard this before. Babe, do you remember what happened with Island Motors before? She might be on with one of the insurance guys. All right, hold on a second. Deputy Dan, let's reach out to Island Motors during this break and see if they want to say. I mean, if they went down, they bought it. I'm just confused on the whole thing. It sounds like he bought it. He gave 50% down. It's a $5,000 vehicle. It doesn't run now. It sounds like he bought it, so let's find out if they're willing to do anything for him. I'm not so sure I would re-sign on it. And by the way, we're going to take this break. As soon as we come back, we're going to have Brian Burns with Compass Insurance, and we're going to figure out what this uninsured coverage is all about, because apparently, according to USAA, they don't cover people that are uninsured. So, I mean, I don't even know why they have this coverage. Everybody hang tight. I do want to tell you about Joseph A. Lazara. And the reason I want you to tell him about him is all the things, all the parties that happened a couple weeks ago, the New Year's parties, everything. If you found yourself in a DUI, if you found yourself in any trouble over the holidays, and let's say you've already got bailed out of jail, you're thinking of getting an attorney, get an attorney and get the best out there. Joseph A. Lazara. Any crime, if you've been accused of a crime, any crime, it can ruin your life. I don't care if you did it. Yes, that's right. If you did it and screwed up, you still need representation. You go in front of a DA and cut a deal by yourself, you're going to get a horrible deal. An absolutely horrible deal. You use an attorney like Joseph A. Lazara that has relationships. He knows the judges down there. He knows the DAs. He knows all the people you're dealing with. You want to use someone that knows people, that's been in the system, understands the system, and he's going to be straight with you. He's going to talk to you for free at this number if you need an attorney. 303-429-6200. You can't go at it alone. Don't do it. I can't tell you anymore. Don't do it. You're going to get the worst deal possible. You need an attorney to fight for you, and Joseph A. Lazara will. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Dan, just see what they
Maybe
say.
they'll get this 24. Maybe they
See if they'll come on. I really like them on the air.
I was just thinking, Dan, maybe they negotiate, just give them $2,000 back and just keep $400.
Something. I mean, it sounds like he bought it, but I don't know. I'd like to see his paperwork.
But then again, if it needs a co-signer, and Dad reneges on that.
If I was Dad, why the hell would I sign on a broken car? There's no way in the world I
But
could.
legally, Mark, can they just keep his down payment at $2,400 if he returns the car? Can they do that?
What?
Keep his $2,400.
I don't know if he signed and bought that car, and in that contract, it says, well, okay, in the contract, if it says they're the lender, they got to stick with the original deal. But the original deal is now what? They've got $2,400 down.
Right.
And they have a car, and he has a car that's broke.
I wonder what's wrong with it.
I got to see his, I really need to see his paperwork.
Tom Martino for Larson Tax Relief. I've been fighting for consumers more than 30 years in all areas of business, except when it comes to the IRS. I refer them to Larson Tax Relief. If you owe back taxes,
Shucks, it might be something simple to fix it, too.
These guys are the best. They're smart. They have a fantastic team of experts and will understand.
What did the guy say that wasn't returning calls?
Larson Tax Relief.
With the duck cleaning.
Your tax debt problems. Larson will get you.
Said he had a rogue employee. He's handling it. He apologized. He's going to call those people right now. The lady that is answering the phone apparently is way the fuck out of line.
I trust Ron and Jack Larson and their team of experts, and you can too. 844-LARSON-TAX, or check them out at LarsonTaxRelief.com. That's 844
job ruined rear windows across them.
844-LARSON-TAX. Larson Tax Relief is the only tax relief and audit organization I endorse on my referral list at referrallist.com.
I can't believe that USAA, I'm going to be amazed.
Right.
I'm amazed, and I really hope that USAA is just doesn't know what they're talking about, whoever she's talking to, because that is amazing to me. So if someone doesn't have insurance, then you're not covered. I mean, that's what uninsured is about.
Exactly. I had a problem with Fred La Jolla. Some guy, we had a customer park a car between our fence and the trailer court. All of a sudden, we get the car, big dent in the side of it. And calling up the customer, hey, big dent? No. Wow. Played our cameras back. The guy in the trailer court backed right into it. He had Fred La Jolla. They didn't want to cover it. I said, I have him on video backing into my customer's car. Well, it's your fault that you guys parked the car there. No, it's not.
How would that? Okay,
Yeah.
so anyhow,
Well, the
did you get
went
paid?
back and forth, and they covered it. But it was like pulling teeth with Fred Lloyd.
Fred Lloyd is horrible.
I said, I'm going to call the police on this.
I would too, because that's a hit and run.
Exactly. That's what I did.
Was it evident he knew he hit him or no?
Yeah, because he got out of the car, and I said it to Fred La Jolla. I said, your insurer got out of the car, looked at the damage, got back into his car, put it back in drive, and took off. That's hit and run. Got it on video.
Box is in the trash, buddy. Sorry.
Sometimes they get good stuff, but they haven't for a while. I went out there one time and they had this place called Del Frisco's Grill opened up. And they do, it's owned by Del Frisco's, but I think they're mostly lunch. So they do like flatbread pizzas and all kinds of stuff though. Man, they put a spread out there. Good shit. I think everybody from every floor was up here. 1 minute, everything was there. Next break, everything's gone.
I want to go to that steakhouse. Ruth's. Yes, that's it. I want to go there. Have you gone there?
Oh, yeah.
On a scale from 1 to 10, is it a 10?
It's a solid 9.5.
Wow.
Yeah. See, I love to grill. So,
right.
You know, it's just hard for me because I grill as good.
Oh, really?
And they're not cheap.
No. So you drop a $100 bill, and it's kind of like as good as what I can do.
So when you grill your steaks, do you let them sit for 3, 4, 5 minutes?
Oh, you got to rest them, yeah.
A tomahawk.
Now,
if you go to Costco,
is hard to cook.
It is, because it's so thick.
Yeah.
But if you go to Costco and get a tomahawk, it's $40 for a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
So they get $100 for it.
Sure. No, I don't think.
All right, folks, 303-713-8255. I am so dying to get to this one. So here it is in a nutshell, and I'm saying this so Brian, over at Compass Insurance, kind of gets the skinny on this. But here's the deal, Brian. Lynn, you were in a head-on with someone, and it was their fault. They didn't have insurance. You turned it into your insurance, which is USAA, correct? USAA is telling you, even though you have uninsured, underinsured coverage on your vehicle, they are saying they might not cover it, and this is the part that's amazing, Brian, because the other person didn't have coverage on the vehicle. Now, listen to what I'm saying. They're saying because the other person didn't have insurance, they might not cover it. Now, the reason the other person didn't have insurance, you're never going to guess what insurance they had. Let me hear you guess.
Well, I got a little heads up. Fred Loya.
Fred Loya. So Fred Loya is saying, and I don't know what Fred Loya has to do with her and her insurance company, but Fred Loya basically said the guy that's driving it, I guess he lives with his mother, he was excluded from the policy, so they're not going to cover it. I understand that. But her insurance, USAA, are you telling me, or are they telling her the wrong info, or maybe she's misunderstanding? Is it possible?
There's got to be a misunderstanding.
Thank God.
I mean, it's funny in your statement there. You're saying that USA is not covering
as not giving her uninsured motorist coverage because the other guy is uninsured.
It's the most. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Well, actually, let me clarify it a little bit more. It gets a little tricky.
Okay, Lynn, get tricky. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the caveat: is that it was his mother's vehicle who lived at a different address. For some reason, he was driving the vehicle that day.
Lynn, listen, none of this is relevant to it. You're dealing with your insurance company.
Right.
I mean, Brian, is there any scenario in the world? Let's say the mother let a 3-year-old drive it and the 3-year-old hit her. Let's say it got stolen by a rapist that also robbed the Federal Reserve at the same time. Is there any scenario in the world her insurance company should not cover this if she has uninsured motorist coverage?
It really should not matter what the other person is. If they don't have insurance, his insurance, his uninsured motorist, should pay. So I would love to see what I would recommend her doing. First thing is tell the claim adjuster, show me in the policy where it excludes this kind of loss.
Yeah, no, you know what? Yes, exactly. I mean, I say that all the time, and so does Tom. So, Lynn, actually ask him that. Say, show us where it says this. And ask her, say, okay, so I have uninsured coverage. Someone that is not insured hit me, and my uninsured coverage doesn't hit it, and record it for me so I can play their dumbass saying it if they do 24 hours a day.
Well, let me ask this. What if he's not a U.S. citizen?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, my God. It's uninsured coverage.
Okay. Well,
Lynn, you're getting the runaround. You're getting the runaround. If you're being straight, USAA, I would ask to talk to someone completely different, because whoever you're talking about, I can't believe I'm so worked up about this, but it is amazing to me. They're telling you. Now, are you sure they're not saying you don't have that coverage?
No, I have that coverage. I've got uninsured.
Underinsured.
Underinsured, and I've got uninsured or underinsured property damage. I've got medical coverage.
Brian,
They picked up all of the medical bills from the hospital, the ambulance, and all that. They're picking up the medical, no questions asked. But when it comes to the damage to my vehicle, it was a $20,000 vehicle. They're saying, boy, we just don't know if we can cover this.
Mike, you didn't have collision coverage. You only had uninsured motorist property damage. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So, yeah, uninsured motorist property damage, the only reason, and for bodily injury, the only reason they'd have a case not to pay it is that the guy had insurance. If it's a clear-cut case where he does not have insurance, then your coverage should pay.
So they were excluded. Maybe that's what's going on. They're basically saying, hey, we know there's coverage on the vehicle. We've got to prove that this guy really was excluded from the policy, so it's going to take a little bit of time.
Right, exactly. And if they're able to demonstrate that who was driving the car was excluded, in other words, they don't have insurance, then the coverage should apply. But it is a different situation, so maybe it's just taking longer to investigate it.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's another caveat, is that he has a vehicle of his own, which he was not driving, and my insurance people think that he had insurance for his vehicle, but he was driving the other vehicle.
Brian,
his insurance should extend to a permissive use type of a situation. If he's driving another car, as long as it's not in the household. So you're
wait. She brings something up, though, Brian. If he's actually excluded from that vehicle with a different insurance company, how does that work?
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that his insurance won't step in and pay.
Okay.
It's a matter of his access to that car. If they figure that he has regular access to the vehicle, they're not going to want to pay it either, because then they should have been insuring it.
But then that goes back to he had no insurance, and her insurance should be covering it.
Right. So I think the confusion here is going to be that there's two different insurance companies they're trying to get to pay.
So
ultimately, if it's all goes away, her insurance should pay.
Lynn, if you have another caveat, I'm going to hang myself.
Okay. He on his vehicle, they live at two separate addresses, okay? But his vehicle, he also carries Loya on his insurance.
Oh man, you know this is the Rockefellers we're talking about here. So Brian, I want to just stop this because it's starting to become insanity. Listen, Lynn, The best I can tell you, and Brian, please tell me if I'm wrong or you think I'm wrong. You're either going to get paid by your own insurance or you're going to get paid by Fred Loya. Either way, you're going to end up getting paid. He either had insurance, which your property will be covered, or he didn't have insurance, and USAA will have to pay.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'm not supposed to hear back from USAA with the definitive on whether they're going to step in and cover me, but I will call you back and let you know how this pans out.
And you can also call back. When are you supposed to hear back from them?
They said probably middle of next week.
Okay, if you don't hear back from them by, let's say, the end of next week, call back in. We'll get Brian on, and we'll have Brian make some calls on your behalf to get to the bottom of it.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Mark and Brian. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. Thank you. And by the way, folks, Brian Burns, Compass Insurance, any insurance coverage you need. In fact, you guys, garage keepers, you got to reshop all the time.
Compass. Exactly.
Compass.
Yeah.
So whether you own a business and need insurance, homeowners, these guys will get you the best rates. They'll shop 25 places.
Well, I like it. You got a question like this, I pick up and I call my agent.
And they handle it.
Handle it. Fix it.
I know. Here she is dealing directly with USAA, which I think you have to with them. It's a captive audience, but I think so. But here's the deal. You just said it so perfectly. If they have a problem, if you have a problem with garage keepers or anything, you don't have to deal with it. No. That's what these guys do.
And they do it well.
And they do. I appreciate it. You did a great spot for them. Let's give their number out and make it a real commercial, 303-996-9000. But really, shop it. How often do you guys check your garage keepers? Every 2 years?
Well, through Compass, they shop it.
They shop. Well,
we need to shop ours, too.
Oh, man, definitely. I got to tell you.
I ended up paying more, Mark, but I found holes in my coverage.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
You think you're covered for
my other agent was cutting corners to cut the price.
Well, yeah, and you know how many cars, like total, let's say, I remember one policy at my small store, which was in front of Micro Center. That one only had 5 bays, I want to say. So the most we'd have in there is 5 cars. I'd take the average of the cars. We're talking fire. A fire comes through, everything's wiped out. I think I had 100,000 there, which might not have been enough when you really think about it. Back then it might have been. But other stores with 8 bays or 10 bays, you need more coverage for catastrophic. All right, just check prices. 303-713-8255. Okay, let's go to Duke. He's been holding forever. Duke, I appreciate it. In fact, Duke, I'm sorry. Here's what I'm going to do. I really need to get caught up, but if I promise you I come right back to break, will you stick with me?
Yeah, I will.
All right, hold tight, man. It sounds horrible, though. It says someone tinted his windows and it ruined the rear defroster. I'm dying to see what that's about. Okay, Rocky's Autos. I got to tell you, they're at 63rd and Federal. They've got the best inventory out there, and it doesn't matter if you're looking for a truck, a van, an SUV, a late model used car, you name it, Rocky's is going to have it. They're a great dealership. They're family-owned, family-operated. Any vehicle you buy, you're going to get a Carfax with. You're going to know the vehicle's history. You're going to get a very good price. You're going to get a fair price. They got 40 lenders to choose from. They'll find the right lender for you. They've got great interest rates if you got great credit, and if your credit's not so good, they'll find a lender that'll work with you. They've got the product, price, and process down, and I got to tell you, the best thing to do is put them on the list. And what I mean by that is, if you're shopping for a used vehicle, now or in the future, look on Colfax, look at the dealerships, look wherever you want. But please, put them on the list and go down and check out that crazy large inventory at 63rd and Federal. It's not that far. 63rd and Federal. Drive down there tomorrow if you've been looking for a car. 303-426-4646, 63rd and Federal, RockiesAutos.com.
Hi, it's Botus. Yes, it's after the holidays. And now what do you do?
What Mark was talking about, basically total coverage on cars was minimal. You know, figuring that the chances of losing all the cars...
Next to nothing.
Well, yeah, but it's just like, what chance? What the hell do I have insurance for if I'm willing to take a chance?
And then, one of the coverages you got to look at, when I first did it, I screwed up here. I cost myself more money. Most of my techs own their own tools. And I'm not talking GSs. I have my equipment, techs have their own. At one point, I was covering everybody's stuff to a maximum, which made absolutely no sense. So then basically they had to get their own policy for their own tools. Although I did give them each a little bit of coverage. But the main thing, Mark, is I don't know what you just got to make sure whatever inventory. Remember, I probably had 50 grand in tires at any time. So I had tires, and then the customers' cars, and then all that shit.
Where'd you get your tires from? Premier?
I used Premier. Well, ultimately I used Goodyear, but my main one was Premier. But if Premier didn't have them, ADT would deliver them. Because I was in the Goodyear line, it was just...
So you guys got a screaming deal from ATD, price-wise.
Oh, Premier, my pricing was the best, actually.
Yeah.
But Premier sold. They sold I think ATD. They sold to somebody. But we would buy... I could beat any Goodyear corporate-owned store by a shitload. I could beat Walmart. I mean, we did. We bought tires really cheap. But I gave tires away, Mark. I gave them away. My whole philosophy was, well, to get the rotate and the free flat repairs so I could see that car all the time. That was my whole philosophy.
Well, it's hard to make money on tires right now.
It's impossible.
Everybody
Discount will kill you.
Yeah.
I'd never get into a price war with discount. Here's what I would do, though. Their online prices aren't that, I mean, they're not that aggressive. So I would turn right there at the front counter, I'd turn the screen around, I'd hit discounttire.com, I'd pull up the tire I was going to sell them, a Goodyear Wrangler, for example. I'd go right to it, and I'd say, listen, I'll just match it. They're the cheapest in town. I'll match it right now.
You can't touch Michelin's, though, against discount.
I didn't sell Michelin's.
Yeah, no, we tried, but it's...
They kill it.
Yeah.
See, they could take a loss because how Michelin and Goodyear work. If I sold $1 million in tires at the end of the year, I'd get a check for $100 grand.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if I lost money on the tire all year, if I knew I was going to hit my waterfall, I'd make all my money at the end of the year.
Sure, you hit your waterfall.
You'd have to. You buy it at the end of the year.
You buy 100 of them to put in the back room to make your
whatever I had to buy. I wish it was 100 some years.
You know, yeah.
Merry Christmas! I just bought $100 grand in tires.
Yeah, that vacation.
To save $100 grand.
Exactly.
So at Island Motors, I left them a message. The car was a 1985 Buick Riviera.
Oh God, Riviera.
And they sold it for $5,000.
Yeah, but I think it's considered a classic.
Is he
car.
still on?
I don't know.
85's not quite.
I left a message with him and stuff. He was with a customer.
Would someone look up at KBB for me and tell me what this thing's worth? How many miles did he say?
73,000.
Really?
I don't even know if they'll go back to 85.
I don't think they will.
I mean, a 1985 Buick Riviera's got to be worth $12.
Well, by the pound, it's 200.
Okay, you're right. By the pound, 200. Actually, that is how you value that car.
Right.
And then he's
92.
If his dad co-signs on that, his dad is dumber than him.
92 what?
It's all KB going back to 92.
Did they make a Riviera in 92?
I don't think so.
Find out what that's worth. Because if it's worth 300.
Well, no, it's considered a classic, though. I mean, that's the thing.
What do you mean if it's considered a classic? A Pinto could be a classic.
I know, but those big Buick Rivieras, those are the ones that back.
No, they're earlier than that.
Okay.
Delivering generic sildenafil to your door. For more information,
Yeah, those are cool cars. Those Rivieras look like.
That's like I-10 in his classic. What's that?
Like
The Skylark?
Right.
The K
car. Yeah, the Reliant.
His is actually in pretty good shape. Were you guys
Yeah,
here
we
when you
saw
brought
it.
in the
Well, yeah.
E-Track?
Yeah. 1,100 to 2,700 for 92.
Riviera? They did make them in 92. Okay.
How many miles did you plug in?
I plugged in 100,000.
Okay.
But, I mean, a 95, there's not a lot to them. I mean, what could possibly be going wrong with
85.
Well, 85.
The engine?
Well, yeah, but
Through a rod?
But
Transmission is non-existent?
you better be a mechanic if you're buying a car like that.
Oh yeah.
well,
No.
same thing as a lifted Jeep. If you're not a mechanic, you don't need to be owning a used lifted Jeep.
You're right.
All right, 303-713-8255. Got a lot going on. I do want to talk real quick I promised Duke, here I am. I promised him up and down I'd go right back to him. I'm sorry, Duke. So basically you had a tinning job done. Who did the tinning job?
Tito's Tint on Irma Drive in, I can't remember if it's Thornton or Northglenn, but...
Tito's Tint.
Yes.
So what happened? They tinted the back window and what?
Well, and there was some crud underneath of it, so I had them redo the back window, so we had to steam it off. And when I got the car back, the window tint, the
window defroster didn't work. And come to find out, you know how there's a little bump of the line, you know, for the resistance?
Yeah.
Well, most of that is completely gone.
You think that's when he was taking the tint off, right?
Yeah, and I've confronted him about it, and of course he denies everything.
Did it work? Hold on a second. When you first had it done, I mean, did you notice it immediately?
After the redo, yes, it worked. When he did it the first time, it worked.
Okay, that was going to be my question. So it's when he took that heat gun to it.
Well, he says he steams it, and he said he left a steamer in the back window for a couple hours.
What kind of vehicle is it?
It's a 2010 Lexus.
Oh man!
So that's the other problem too. It's not a new vehicle.
Yeah.
And so he's got every way in the world to deny it, and I don't have any proof.
Well, if you look at it, guys, Kevin or Mark, if you look at it, I'm picturing these lines, but I don't know what's on a Lexus. I'm picturing these lines are either going to be broken or or not, right? I mean, how do these things work?
You can check continuity through the lines, yeah.
So you can actually check that.
Yeah.
So
normally when the tint is on there, the tint bumps up over these little lines, and that's the way it was before. And I told him before he even started, I said, I understand that the top zone doesn't work. There's a couple of different zones, and the top zone doesn't work, and there's one line in here that doesn't work. And I said, now before you redo it, is there anything that you would do that would harm that rear window defroster? And he said no.
Well, you know what? It's weird you just said this. So you're saying that thing already didn't work in one part of it.
It was deteriorating, yeah.
Well, part of it, yeah. Part of it did not work,
that's going to be the hard argument here, man.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He can say, and I might even buy into it. It was already starting to break.
Yeah. Well, but the problem is, it doesn't exist anymore.
I get you.
There's just a shadow of where the lines used to be.
Yeah.
So it's not like he scraped a little cut in one of them and disconnected the continuity. It's gone.
It's all gone.
It's completely off the window.
So I don't know what you say. What's he owe you? A zone? I mean, if you really want to think about it, he doesn't owe you. I don't even know how that works. Can you redo these or no? This is all built in.
Changing the glass, yeah.
Man,
I bet you can get a used window fairly cheap for that vehicle.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I talked to him about it. He said, I'll even help you find a used one, but whether he knows he did it or not.
Would he put it in? Wait a minute. Would he put it in if he helped you find a used one?
No, of course not.
Okay.
He doesn't. And I don't.
Well, he probably doesn't put them in anyhow.
Yeah.
No, and it cost me a couple $100 to have the window put in after I even found the window.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, here's the deal, though. It was broken to begin with. I think you've got an uphill battle with Tito's.
No, I understand that, and I was just trying to pick your brain to see if you could come up with any creative solution.
Well, no, because I don't know what a fair solution would be, because here's where my brain goes. You have a window. If it's brand new from the dealer, it's worth, I'm just throwing BS numbers out, $1,000. If you find a used one, it's worth $200. You have a 2010 Lexus that basically had a $200 one using the numbers I did, but that $200 one didn't even work all the way. So it's not even worth $200. So let's say because there was already an issue, it's only worth $100. If these numbers held up, I would say he owes you $100 towards a used one. But that's what I'm saying. It's tough because it was already broke.
I mean, it was functional, and it was...
Okay, Duke, let me ask you this. Hold on, I want you to really listen to me here. Let's say your window on the driver's side only rolled up 3/4. Okay?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and let's say you live in Arizona, it doesn't have to be up. There's no snowstorm. I don't want to throw this in. But let's say you bring it somewhere, and when you leave, it only rolls up halfway, or it doesn't roll up at all. I mean, the bottom line is that problem was still there to begin with, and something possibly did give out. I understand you're saying, if you look at it now, ultimately there's nothing there. He definitely did something, but because of that initial problem, that's the main problem.
Right, well, and even if it worked 100%, I still don't know how I would do anything. That's why I was calling you. But
yeah, I mean, if it didn't work,
I just have a feeling
that he was mad at me
making him to redo it.
If it worked 100%, I would say he owes you something. If not the entire thing. If not the entire thing. But it wasn't. Now, I will say this. Maybe he's a good guy, and if you do get a used one, he'll redo it for you.
Yeah, I think he would. He'd redo it.
Mark Machowski with Budget A1. Go ahead. Give some input on this. What do you think?
You know, I think that he should have told the customer, the window tint guy, that when I go to peel this old window tint off, there's a chance of, because of the age of the windshield, of ruining those heating elements. You want me to do it or not?
Okay, but he didn't, so now what? So we can't go back
Well,
in
then
time.
again, too, he didn't do it, and it was fading and peeling off anyway, and sections weren't working. Just get a used window and have him
Have him
put a new
redo
tint on it. Yeah.
Put a new tint on it.
Yeah.
Kevin?
Well, who's the glass guy that was in last week? Mark? Get it?
Premier.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, too.
Suzanne, who's our glass guy? I don't want to say the wrong one.
Premium Auto Glass.
Premium. See,
Yeah,
I, did say
I
it
would
wrong.
give him a call and quote out a new rear glass and just see. Yeah.
I would do that too, man.
I wouldn't play with the used one
Right.
because, you know, the used one was defective already in 10 years.
Yeah, call Premium and see. And then if you can find a used one, say, hey, I talked to Mark on the Troubleshooter show. I found a used one at a junkyard for $100. How much for you guys to put it in? See what they say, man.
Right.
I mean, it's worth it, and then bring it back to Tito's. But I got to tell you, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you're saying, but I can't get on Tito. I just can't get on him for this one. I don't feel as if it's right. Now, Kelly, in this deal with Island Motors, so Kelly bought, you didn't tell me this part, Kelly, not that it really matters, but for $5,000, you bought a 1985 Buick Riviera, right?
Right.
How many miles are on it?
73,000.
73, that's somewhat low miles. But here's the problem you're in. I got to see your paperwork. If they sold it and said they were going to finance you, I just got to look at your paperwork. But if they decided they were going to finance you, then try to sell the paper and they can't, well, they need to allow you to make payments. I realize the vehicle's not running, and that doesn't help you, but then you can at least own the car and get it running. If you didn't sign that and they said it was contingent upon them finding something else or finding a lender that'll actually take it, well, then you're just SOL.
Okay.
But we left
Yeah,
them.
I mean,
Listen,
everything-
any dealership, in my opinion, and this is Island Motors, that sells a 1985 Buick Riviera, when did it first break down?
4 days after I had it.
4 days after you have it, and then it broke down again, right?
Yeah, I got it back from them a week later, and it broke down again that night.
So when you say broke down, I mean it just won't start, it won't run, what won't it do?
I mean, on the highway, it starts overheating. This last time, steam from, I'm assuming, coolant flooded the cab, and it just shut down on me.
So, guys, this could be a radiator.
Sounds like a heater core.
Well, it sounds like a head gasket now.
A head gasket,
Shut
heater
down.
core.
Yeah, you can't drive a car to failure.
Which means everything above. So if it literally is a head gasket or a warped head at this point, can that head warp? That's not aluminum, is it?
It gets hot enough it can, but typically not. It's
Typically not.
cast iron.
But think about it. It probably needs a radiator. It probably needs upper-lower. It probably needs a heater core. At this point, I mean,
you
my
put
God.
$2,000 in there, $3,000 car.
We're going to see what maybe they'll let you put that 2400. I'm not going to talk about Island Motors right now. I find it outrageous, though. A 1985 Buick Riviera they sell for $5,000, but I assume your credit's not very good. And for your dad, you said your dad won't co-sign, right?
Yes. To be fair, I had to have it appraised by a classic car appraiser, and he appraised it at $6,500.
I don't care what they appraise it. I mean, it's a come on, man. It's a 1985 Buick Riviera. I don't care what he appraises it. That's not it has nothing to do with this. But here's the deal, man. Your dad should not co-sign on this in a million years. I wouldn't even ask him. But we've got to call in. Deputy Dan, you left a message?
Left a message with Andrew, yeah.
All right. Is that who we dealt with before over there, or you don't know?
Yeah, he's the salesman, and Joe's the owner, but Joe wasn't in there.
All right, so that's where we're going to have to leave that, Kelly. So, Suzanne, clear that up. Make sure we have his information. As soon as Deputy Dan here is back, we'll talk to him. You know, Centeno Schultz, I want to tell you about stem cells real quick. There's a lot of places out there that claim, I mean, they really do claim they do them. They're not live stem cells. So when you hear stem cell therapy, just be on alert, because if they're not live stem cells, here's how you tell. If you go to Centeno Schultz, by the way, these guys are internationally recognized for their work with stem cells, but they actually harvest them from your own body. They usually get them from your bone marrow, and they harvest them from your own body. They put them in their own lab right there. Then they make them so they're nice, strong stem cells, and they get rid of the other stuff in the bone marrow. Then they use a guided injection or a needle, basically, to put them into where it hurts. It might be your hips. It might be your knees, could be your shoulders, it could be your joints. Wherever the pain is, they use as a guided needle procedure to get exactly to where they are. The other thing they're used for big time is ACL tears. But if you're up against surgery, maybe you're thinking of surgery for your knees or your hips or an ACL tear or your back, I want you to give them a call and discuss stem cell therapy, real stem cell therapy. It's Centeno Schultz. We're lucky to have them right here in Denver. 303-963-9201, 303-963-9201. You can also find them on our referral list at referrallist.com.
From the L&L.
Well, but then he said then it shut down. So, I mean, if he got as far as failure to where, you know.
I count two more. Am I right?
That looking car. Yeah.
Kidding me? You like that?
No, I mean, it's just an older, I'm not saying
It's
that.
like a Pitmobile.
Well, yeah, no, it looks like an old Cadillac.
Yep, you're right. I got it.
The Eldorado.
House inventory. Yep.
Yo, the good Riviera is like the 76.
Oh, the one with the headlights that had the
Had that ducktail,
That boat tail, that boat tail.
That's
That's
the
it?
windshield.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not terrible.
No, it kind of looks like an old caddy in a way.
Yeah, sure.
Eldorado.
What is that? What is that material on the back called?
Landau?
No, it's the it's like Corinthian leather.
That's a Cordova.
Naugahyde.
Camel
Naugahyde, there, that's what
Naugahyde.
it's called.
How many Naugahyde?
What year is that one with the
The boat tail, the Buick Riviera with the boat tail, the boat tail window. I mean, like a 76.
Well, it's hard to tell that from a Cadillac.
It is,
Yeah.
you're right.
Go to a 70. Bet you 76. 76 Riviera, 78.
I don't know. That's that 80 down there.
No, that's not it. That's not the year. No.
But that, I think, what is worth.
You know the one I'm talking about, right,
I
Kevin?
do.
That's got that diamond.
Like this.
No, it actually comes down like this. It's
That's not a
Space,
bad car there.
that's space age for
Man, look at
Sure
that.
was.
Yeah.
Look how low that is.
Yeah, that looks nice.
And he'll tear out and haul away the old kitchen free. Give him a call to start this process.
How big?
Yeah.
303-386-5992.
Yeah, I wanted one of those cars.
Did ya?
Yes, I did. I love the way they look.
I can never figure out how to use this.
65 looks more like it.
Was it at 65?
Ooh, I didn't think it was that old. Holy cow.
See, that's the one that's got the clamshell headlights.
No, it's not that one. It's like in the 80s.
Ma'am, I sincerely want to apologize for any.
I know. Just going back.
Babe, can you come in here for a sec?
Here it is. Here it is.
Did you find it?
What is it?
That's it. That's the one.
71.
71.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I put that.
Yeah.
I can't pull this up again. I forget how
Is
you
that what you did?
Yeah.
Hotel Riviera?
Yeah. Look at the. I mean,
If I go to you,
Yeah.
can you imagine what that
Well,
thing
that's pretty.
it
costs?
just doesn't.
That's like the old Barracuda windows
Right.
and all that in the day. Yeah.
Where'd it go? There it is.
That's a great car.
71 to 73.
Does it say how much it's selling for?
Well, it's
Wow, that's crazy how it was on the boat tail.
Yeah,
Go to
yeah.
a restaurant. We'll be
Didn't even
right back.
think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, boat tail, yeah. Well, that window would be expensive to replace.
330 horsepower car.
Oh yeah. No, they had to have it. The thing weighs about 7,000 pounds. Front wheel drive.
No way, was it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that was one of the original Tornados and Eldorados, and they're all front wheel drive.
What does it was selling for? Such a 71 to 73, apparently.
What's that?
That boat tail Riviera. That's the one with that.
Is that worth something?
Yeah, looks like it.
Just because of the look of it?
Well, it's a 71 as well, so you're getting
Big engine.
I think it's kind of ugly, that back end on it.
But it's different.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Purchase any MyPillow premium bed pillow and get the second bed pillow.
Haggerty lists him 11.2 as average value.
11,000 too?
Yeah.
So I guess not super.
No.
Not like. Do you remember when the muscle car with that big? It was a Mopar, big tail that they had. It was like
Oh, the Daytona.
Is it the Daytona? Was that what it was?
Super B or a Daytona?
Not. It was a. What was Was it called Daytona? Is that what?
Yeah, look up Super B or Dodge, because the Plymouth Super B and the Dodge.
And the Super B, yeah.
Because it had the big fin in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was 70, 71.
And I remember an advertisement back in the 60s and stuff.
All right, 303-713-8255. We've got one line open, 303 Martino, 303-713-8255. By the way, before I forget, you can always, and I mean always, reach us at live@troubleshooter.com. We check those numbers, or we check that email in the morning, and then 303 Martino works on and off the air. We check those when we come in the morning, and that's what we want to do. We want to help you. Hey, Mark, real quick, and then I promise Anthony, I'm dying to see why these doctors raised the price on you. We'll talk about that, and then we've got a Tacoma issue. But Mark Machowski with Budget A1, and Kevin, I want to ask you both this. When we talk about Christian Brothers and this issue we've had with the rear differential, they rebuilt it, it failed. They rebuilt it, it failed. They sent it somewhere else. The somewhere else actually said, hey, the case is twisted. That's what's going on. Christian Brothers didn't want to refund the money at that point. In fact, they wanted to resell her the gear set, according to the caller. Here's a question for you, though. If I bring a vehicle into either of you, and I say, hey, my rear diff is out. In fact, this other guy tried to fix it and couldn't fix it, so I don't know what's going on. But here's my vehicle. Can you guys fix it? And you look at it, and then you come back to me and say, well, because it's lifted, I think you should go ahead and update the gear set to a bigger gear set. Maybe go to a 410 compared to what, Mark? What's stock?
Would be like a 350 series or maybe a 340 series.
So you suggest to them, you go up to here, and then you rebuild it, and then it fails in 800 miles. Then you warranty it, and it fails in another 900, 1,100 miles. Then it's evident you don't know what you're doing, no offense, guys, because you can't fix it, and then you send it out to a transmission shop like Mark over here, Machowski at Budget A1. They look at it, and they say, well, the reason it's not working, and see, this is where it gets complicated. I shouldn't have used you in the example, Mark, but they say it's twisted. Who was that? Western Drive?
Yeah, I believe it was a Western Drive line.
They looked at it and said it's twisted, okay?
Which it's not.
Well, which Budget A1 says it's not, but I don't even care about any of that. So another shop says it's twisted. At this point, how do you handle the customer? Because they came in, spent $7,000 with you based upon what you told them and recommended to fix it. Then you come back to them and say, hey, we need another $3,000 or $4,000. If that customer was like, well, I'm not putting any more money into it, I simply want my money back, or I don't want you guys touching it anymore because it's evident you don't know what the hell you're doing, well, how would you guys handle it?
Well, I mean, if there's going to be any further charges, it may just be for additional parts. So it needed a new tube.
How about for parts you already sold?
No, you've already been paid for.
And how about if they don't want to pay for any additional parts? How about if they don't want to pay for another rear end?
Then you just fix it. You keep the customer happy.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't like how Christian Brothers is handling this. We're going to have an update on that coming up. All right, 303-713-8255. Everybody hold on. We've got a lot going on. And Ivan and Anthony, I promise, one line open, 303 Martino. My name's Mark Major. This is the Troubleshooter Network.
When it comes to service,
the Superbird.
Yep.
But that's it's not a good front end looking car.
No.
Now, there's another Superbird that's worth a ton, though, isn't
This
it?
is worth a ton. I'll bet you.
That would be a 70.
Yep. Right.
The 70 Superbird. Who makes it?
Plymouth.
Yeah.
Plymouth, yeah.
But that's not a Cutlass.
No. We're just playing around with cars.
I mean, as far as I remember.
I know someone that owns one of those.
Really?
Yeah.
His name's Bob Curb.
I'll bet you it's $250,000.
Oh, I know that guy.
If it's in any kind of shape.
He had 100,000,
half the cars I had when I was in high school.
Yeah. You know, my first car was a '69 Camaro SS.
Yeah.
Beautiful little car. I had a '73 Javelin AMX.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good looking car.
Yeah, no, because I used to play with cars all the time.
Did you?
68 Firebird.
Here's his. Look at this.
Then the Super B, a buddy of mine had one
Curbs?
of those.
Yep.
One of my neighbors had a 69 Z28 in his garage. Yeah. Yeah, see, front end's ugly on that.
He says it's worth over 100 easy.
On a Superbird? Oh, yeah.
What's the Hemi, the Daytona? That's what the Dodge Daytona, the Superbird is.
Well, they have 383s on them, or they have
440s.
440s?
Yep.
440 with a Dana 60.
Yeah.
And an 8.
But the front end is kind of
I think he's owned it since brand new.
Yeah.
That's his car, huh? That's Curb's car? Yeah.
I've been.
If he still owns it, that was
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Sent you an email from Steve.
I didn't see it.
He has it scheduled for Chad,
Okay.
and he's going to re-clean it and take care of that. And he has a message into Robert because there's not a phone number attached to that.
Okay.
And then he apologized for the
Just getting word that the author of the
confusion.
Did you apologize?
So is that what he's calling you now? That
Well, this was to you.
Yeah, and I
Remember
forwarded
these cars there? You probably had a lot of the Chevelles.
Oh, yeah.
That was a huge.
Challenge, sorry.
Yeah, so he's not.
69.
My driver was a 70.
Well, acknowledge you got
I had a
that.
67
I
SS.
Yeah.
Yellow.
And I put
Chevelle SS?
Yep. Yep, mine was yellow, and it had automatic turbo 400. I really liked
They
it.
had the.
I really liked it.
396. That's what.
396. Yep.
Well, they had all the motors too. They all.
Yep.
My
But back
69.
in the, I mean, every car on the road was that fast. You got the Buick Grand
Not
Sports,
my
were
69
crazy.
Camaro.
That's right. The GS.
Yeah. There was a bill.
Was it the GS 400?
The 442s
Oh, yeah.
were screamers.
Old 442s.
You know, I mean, even just the basic, the Torinos had Hemis in them. Or the
Torinos had a 429 Cobra Jet,
Cobra
which was
Jet.
really rare.
The Dodges, a lot of them had, you know, sneaky little Hemis in them.
Right.
You
And a
know,
dark Hemi.
well, the old Barracudas. You know, look like
Barracudas.
Grandpa's car, and then you try to race it, and you can't keep up with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70 Cuda. That's an awesome car. Yeah.
Back when gas was cheap.
I mean, like the 60s Cudas with the wraparound window.
Right.
You know.
Gas is pretty cheap, man.
Not Super B. That's
I
our
remember-
teacher had a one.
I remember when gas in our town growing up hit $1.
When I moved from Oklahoma to here, it was 89 cents.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
And that was 92,
It was
man.
after the.
Because of the gas wars.
What were you doing? How long ago was that? Out in Oklahoma?
92.
You had gas.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Red
like
flag.
out
In
there.
Oklahoma, my parents lived there. In Oklahoma, well, they already moved, but that's how I got there.
Allowed $10. worth of
89
$10.
cents was in Oklahoma. We got here, it was like 129.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe how much more money it was here.
30 cents more a gallon.
Yeah, that was. Geez, back then cars were such a big deal.
Yeah.
In high school. So.
You know, Dan's got a money management guy for one of his accounts. This is an outrageous story.
Yeah.
He made 4 trades. He wanted to like sell Microsoft, buy this, 4 different trades. When we traded, like he has a Schwab, I got a Ameritrade, mine are $5.
That's what mine are.
They charged him how much for 4 trades?
$2,200.
What?
Wow.
If you guys, the reason I'm saying this, you guys use a money guy, you got to check those fees. It is no
I never
joke.
would have thought. To me,
What's the basis for that?
I'm going to call him up. My sister sent me the thing, so now I got him right in front of me. I'm going to call him up.
And it's a family friend.
Right.
Wow.
Right. $2,200 for 4 trades. And they, so say you bought $100,000, 100 shares of $100. That will be 10 times more than if you bought 100 shares at $10. It's strictly on pricing. They take it's like 1.7%. Yeah, 1.7% of whatever you're buying.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I know.
Shouldn't he tell you how much that's going to cost before he does it?
They probably agreed a million years ago.
Well, we're transfer. We're gonna. If he doesn't reverse the charges and do something different.
I mean, it wasn't like it was $20 million worth of
Right,
stock.
right.
I mean, you know.
But it doesn't take any more. I mean,
Yeah, but even if it were, I could buy $20 million worth of
$5,
stock, and it's $5.
Right.
Wow.
I know, when he told me this yesterday, I was like, I don't know what I do. I mean, because at some point someone agreed to it, or maybe not.
And I never talked to my dad about this before. When I seen he was doing that same thing, I'm gonna say, you're supposed to be looking out for him. That's what I'm telling you. You're supposed to be looking out for him.
Family friend.
Right. This is.
Think of it this way. A lower interest rate.
So we're gonna.
Good thing your sister actually caught it, or whoever.
Well, she sent it to me, and she didn't realize where it should be, and I was like, "Say, I said, I was appalled and stuff, you know."
You got to think of how long you got to wait just to accumulate that money back.
Absolutely.
What did he have you in?
Nothing, and the stuff that the mutual funds that he had in there before basically broke even for the year.
That's where Tom was. He dumped that other guy, man. That other guy in 3 years made him like nothing.
Did he dump him?
Like $3 million made him. I want to say it was like 0.001%. Made like $3,000 in 3 years. in the hottest fucking stock market there
I was going to
has
say, I mean, even on a bad year, it should have been 20%.
Wow.
You're right, we should have asked. I didn't even think about asking what the trade would be.
Well, who would? No one. Even if it came back at $30, $40 a trade.
How do you find a decent money guy? I mean, seriously. You know, you just...
I do all mine myself, man.
Schwab.
I don't believe any of them. He likes his Schwab guy.
I do. I love my Schwab. Because you can go
Yeah,
to
but
classes, you go to classes.
Yeah, but don't you do your own
Yes,
shit.
yes.
That's the difference.
But you can get in managed accounts, and they don't charge you any for the managed account.
Okay. And they look out for you?
So they look out for you. No,
that's exactly how I use Andrew down at Ameritrade. He's the same way. He'll send me different ideas. If I ask him, he'd manage it. You're right, and it doesn't cost anything. They get paid on salary. I mean, it's just the newer way to look at it.
With the different tax laws coming and this and that and this, how does that change an IRA as opposed to a SEP IRA as opposed to...
I don't think most of that's changing, but
I don't know.
So that's your accountant.
Yeah. Well, accountants don't know that. That's the problem.
Well, when they do the tax return, they'll tell you if you overfunded it.
Exactly. They'll tell you after the fact.
Every nickel I put into my Roths last year, I had to pull out. I had no idea I couldn't fund my Roth. Suzanne's Roth, I ended up being able to fund, but I couldn't fund mine. I had to pull everything out, and they still charged me. The feds charged me for something, and I'm going, now wait a minute, the money I put into the Roth is already taxed. So how in the world do I have to pay some? But I had to pay some. It was little, but I couldn't believe it.
For pulling it out or something, yeah, I don't know.
But it's not like an IRA where you don't pay taxes on it. I already pay taxes on it.
That's what I want to try and avoid. You know, so you just go to a guy that's like, look, I got X, how do I get to Y? Or what's my max? What can I do with this, and this?
My guy Mallory, he's my accountant. He's the one that tells me that stuff.
Now, Tom Martino on 630 KHOW.
Welcome to the show. It is Friday. I can't believe we're in 2018. It's a beautiful place, and if you're new to the show, well, you've reached the best show out there. In fact, Tom started this thing over 38 years ago. And listen to this number, over $200 million in cash merchandise, exchanges, and refunds. That's how we help people. Unlike any other show, we get directly involved. If you've been ripped off, taken advantage of, or just have a question, maybe before you make a mistake, give us a call, and we'll give you great advice. Now, we've got lines full right now, so ultimately I'm just going to jump right to the phones, but I do want to introduce our guests. Mark Machowski, Budget A1 Transmission. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Always good to be here.
Kevin Calkin, Sheridan Auto Tech, 2 locations. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mark.
You guys jump in whenever. We're going to jump right to a problem with a Chevy, unless if I promise someone else, and I don't. Yes, I did promise Anthony. Hold on, Joseph. Anthony, what's going on with you, sir?
Hey, Mark. All right, I'll try to make it quick. Short story, my wife was in a car accident. The chiropractor that she was seeing told her that, hey, I can be your primary care physician, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
When we were seeing him, she was on a $50 a month thing to get 4 adjustments per month.
Yep.
That was with the company he owned. After the car accident, he talked to her and said, hey, just come directly to me, and I'll take care of all that because I'm a better chiropractor than the people I hire, et cetera, et cetera. He never told us about a change in price. Now that we're at the part where we are going to reach a settlement with the other insurance company, our lawyer's basically finding out that he charged $7,000 to MedPay and is asking for another $9,000 on top of that.
Well, okay, the MedPay is not going to affect you. You understand that, right?
Right, but he chewed up a lot of the MedPay, so a lot of the other bills after that we had to take out of pocket, but that's not what we're worried about. We never agreed to the $350 per session for an adjustment and massage.
Was it the same guy?
He owned the company.
He owns the...
He owned the company. We were paying $50 a month to have 4 adjustments.
Well, first of all, it's very normal, like it or not, it's very normal when you're seeing someone and you're on that deal, that $50, but then you get into an accident, that it changes. Because all of a sudden, that doctor or that chiropractor might have to become a witness. On top of that, the reports that the attorney needs. Generally speaking, that's very normal what you're talking about. Not being informed would be an issue. But once they got to start dealing with an attorney or attorneys and insurance companies, generally the price does go up. That's normal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge jump. I mean,
it is.
We're in negotiations with him, but it sounds like, unless the lawyer's just not trying very hard, that he's not budging. Is that something that we can take him to small claims court afterwards for not informing us of the increase in price?
Well, when you take that, my guess is when you take that settlement and they're paid in full, no.
That'll eliminate that.
That'll eliminate it, but it's curious. If I were you, I'd call the doctor directly or go down there and talk to him. But you got to understand there is value to what he was doing at that point.
Right, I understand. I mean, it would have made sense if he'd have just doubled the price.
Well, that's the part I'm not understanding. Well, I don't even know if double's enough, but what I'm saying, you know, how long does the actual adjustment take? 30 minutes?
Less, yeah, not even.
That's what I'm saying. That's really not part of it, the paperwork part of it. We just went through this. We got T-boned a year and a half ago, and I got to tell you, really, they spent more time on the paperwork, the chiropractor, with Suzanne than they ever did on the adjustments. She'd go in for the adjustments. She'd be out of there quick. Hey, babe, how long were the adjustments when you were going in?
Usually just less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they were quick, so I understand at one point why it was $50. But when they got to start doing reports, and these reports are unbelievable because your attorney turns them over to the attorney for the other insurance company.
Right.
So I mean, it is normal, Anthony.
Reasonable.
Well, I don't know if it's reasonable or not because I never really looked at it as far as from the standpoint you are. I understand your concern, and they should have told you. And if they didn't tell you, you do have an argument. If they literally didn't tell you and you didn't sign anything whatsoever, I mean, I'm not so sure you owe them anything.
Yeah, we just got, she just got a copy of the paperwork that she filled out or signed or whatever term you want to use when we took over him being the primary care person.
Yeah.
And she went through it. It has no mention of price.
Oh, so she was getting the adjustments, then he became the primary care, right?
Correct.
Well, that's probably where you agreed to the changes, honestly. That's it. I understand your frustration.
Okay, so even though the paper we signed doesn't say anything about price?
Well, that's right. It doesn't say anything about the $50 price either. It cuts both ways.
True.
I mean, seriously, that's the issue.
There's no argument to be made for, hey, we were seeing somebody in your company for 50.
There's no argument. First of all, I'm not giving you legal advice, but second, but follow me. What I'm saying here is there's always an argument. The argument I'm trying to tell you to take is go talk to the owner. Go talk to that chiropractor or at least the owner of the facility and see what you can work out. Because no one else is going to have that vested interest. Maybe your attorney because he's getting a percentage ultimately, I assume, of everything coming. But yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So how much are you going to ultimately get?
If he gets his $9,000 on top of that, we'd be lucky to walk away with 12.
Yeah. See, I'd go talk to the guy, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should go talk to him directly despite the fact we have an attorney handling it?
Yeah, I would if the attorney apparently is not handling it very well, right?
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to I'm not throwing your attorney under the bus, but I'm saying I use John Fuller, and I'll tell you right now, I'd say to John, well, in fact, I'll tell you, I don't know this guy from anybody, nor do I know the chiropractor, but I will say this. The accident, if you will, owed Kaiser money. Kaiser originally wanted X amount. John went to Kaiser, and it took probably 2 months, but he got the Kaiser bill down from like $8,000. They accepted $2,300 or something like that when it was done. But I complained just like you did. He actually brought it to my attention. I complained. He handled it. So your attorney should be doing this, but if not, it doesn't hurt for you to show up.
Right. Okay, so
you're talking money in your pocket. I'd go down there and talk to him. Absolutely, I would.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
See you, Anthony. 303-713-8255. You know, that's a good reason, while I'm thinking of it, for underinsured and no insured. You carry that coverage. You get into a bad accident. Let me tell you, most people driving out there, what do you think their limits are, Kevin?
What, on the med or?
No. Just if someone hits you, what do you think? They have the minimum generally.
Absolutely.
$25,000.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a pot to piss in, the reality is you could have $1 million in damage. You could be in the hospital the rest of your life. Someone could lose their life. You're going to get $25,000.
That's it.
That's why it's important to have the right coverage. That's another reason when we say call Compass Insurance, they can look at your assets and help you out, but they can also talk to you about stuff like this. You got to have some of these coverages because most people simply have, well, if they have insurance, and there's a lot of people in Denver that don't have insurance. And there's a lot of people in the world that don't have insurance. But if they don't have enough insurance, it might not even cover your vehicle.
No, not at all. And that 10 grand goes quick in that med.
Oh, my God. And you can actually, I think this, first of all, you can waive med pay and not even have it. So someone can hit you and not even have med pay. Or you might not have med pay, and then you're in trouble, so you can't go right to that. And it takes out of what would be your settlement, that $25,000.
Sure does.
Billy, what's going on with you?
Hi. I had a problem with my electric meter on my house.
Okay.
And it wasn't working. I didn't realize it because I am on automatic pay with my credit card.
Okay.
But it was low, and it was the same amount every month.
How much was it?
$37.
For electric? Where do you live? What kind of house?
I live in Lyman, Colorado. I just moved here last March.
Is it an apartment or what?
It's a very small house.
Okay, so like, how many square feet?
It's right under 1,500 square feet.
And then
I live here all by myself.
That's all right. What kind of heat do you have? Gas?
Gas.
Okay, so go ahead. It's 37, which, by the way, sounds insanely cheap.
And that's what I was thinking, so I called them because I thought maybe it was on level payment, and they were going to come back and tell me, okay, we've tallied it up for the year, and here's what you owe.
Okay.
But when I called them, they said that the meter was not running, that the $37 only covered the access fee, and that I had been paying for no electricity.
Okay, fair enough. That could very well be possible.
Right, so they changed the meter out last Thursday, and then this Thursday they took another reading. But the woman that came out here said that they would take that reading plus the previous occupant's bills.
Come up with an average.
To come up with an average. My complaint is...
Well, how much, first of all, Billy, how much is the average?
I think about $60 a month for the electricity, and then the $37 on top of that.
Oh, I mean, that doesn't... I don't know what you're fishing for. It doesn't sound unreasonable.
Oh, that sounds reasonable, and I know I need to pay for my insurance or my electricity, but they also said they were going to check on what the previous occupants used, and that was a family.
Well, okay, fair enough, but what was... Okay, how much was it? Did they even share these numbers with you?
They haven't shared it yet. I just want to be prepared.
Here's how I would do it. Here's how I would handle it. So I'm going to tell you how I would handle it.
Okay.
I would pay whatever they want right now. I would let 2 or 3 months go by where your meter's actually working and we have real readings. If the real readings are a lot lower than the $60, you have a heck of an argument to call them up and say, listen, that was a family, I'm an individual, and it's coming in at $30. I don't think it's fair I had to pay $60 for those months that we averaged because you guys were averaging a family versus a single person.
Well, the 60 would have been, depending on the week that they evaluated what I used.
Billy, I'm still going back. What's different about what I just said, though? You wait a few months to see what the real average is. If the real average is quite a bit lower than what they were charging you, you ask for a refund or a credit.
Right, because at this point, if they evaluate the family that was here before, it could be quite a bit more.
Okay, but they haven't done that yet. I think, once again, though, it's not changing what I'm telling you. Now, are you saying you don't have the money? Let's say they try to charge you $200 for last month or whatever month you didn't have a meter. Do you not have the money to pay it? What?
We're going back a year.
Hold on a second. My God, someone go get me my dental equipment. Listen, I do want to help you. Billy, I'll come back to you. Just please, please focus when I come back. Art of Granite, Mitch Floria, he was at our house. Man, 2 weeks ago, he was helping us out with granite in our kitchen. I got to tell you, Mitch Floria and the Art of Granite is the best granite place there is. And here's why. The guy worked his butt off to come over to America. He went from New York, came out here to Denver, learned to fabricate, learned from the best, and then opened Art of Granite, and now he is the best. It's like in... in Taekwondo, when the student takes over the master. This guy is the best out there. He's an artist. He'll also let you use his wholesale account. So if you don't see the stone you want at his place, which, by the way, is beautiful, and his selection is every color you can imagine of the best granite around. And you're not looking at little samples. You're looking at the entire slab of the granite. And I'll tell you what, they can do different finishes on it, different cuts. If you get the kitchen, the bathrooms are done for free, and his line of cabinets are better than any cabinets I've seen, and they'll save you a fortune over anything you'll find at Home Depot or Lowe's or those other guys. I got to tell you, if you need granite, you call Mitch Floria. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. Mitch Floria, artofgranite.net.
Hi, it's Botus. Yes, it's after the holidays. And now what do? Looking for a few dollars to pay your bills?
Recut, because we got a bigger gas cooktop, so we got rid of the old cooktop.
So the existing counter,
He had to come out to the existing granite and cut it.
That's
On location? Perfect. On location?
Oh, God, yeah.
You're not going to
How the hell do you do that?
He sends out a guy that does that.
Wow.
Oh, my God. So our granite in our kitchen, that one particular thing is bigger than this thing. And he came out, and let's say here's the original cutout. It had to be about an inch more on each side, so he had to actually make two cuts. And what you get terrified of, Mark, is if it cracks. Because then I'm replacing fucking 3-4 grand in granite.
Sure.
And I'll never match it up to the rest of the entire kitchen. The one thing that did suck is dust. But there's nothing you can do.
You put plastic up, you do whatever
They
you want.
did everything they can. Nothing you can do.
We'll be fine in there for a while.
Right now, mostly cloudy.
I didn't know if that was male or female at first, Billy. Then I looked.
And how much do you
female.
charge you just to cut that?
Well, I do commercials for him. So it's not even fair to
It'll
say
be an
that.
hourly thing to come out. I mean, I'm sure there'd be a couple hundred.
I would guess at least
a couple hundred an hour or something to come out.
Yeah, I would guess 500-600.
Yeah.
But that's compared to replacing an entire kitchen.
Yeah.
He killed it too, man. It was perfect.
Yeah, there's not a lot of forgiveness on that stuff. Yeah, it's not like wood. You can put a little putty, little cover up, little.
I'm going to the Premier window and getting my, they got a Tom Martino special, 3 chips replaced, $20.
Cool.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, because if you don't replace them, that window starts cracking.
Right. So I figure $20.
What kind of vehicle?
Hyundai Santa Fe, 2011. I love the car. Really.
Yeah.
It's got 100,000 miles on it still.
Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky from my friends at American Financing.
You know, it's not like
Yeah, it's not all. Yeah.
It still feels new.
Right. Well, not new, but not the new smell.
Right.
They sell that.
Do they really? They do. You can air fresheners.
Oh, I've seen
New car
that.
smell.
But don't just take my word for it.
Some formaldehyde and whatever else.
There you go. That's.
Yeah.
Didn't lumber liquidators have a big issue with formaldehyde?
Yeah, wood. That dropped their stock from 70, went down to 15.
Wow.
Slowly coming up now.
It's recovering, yeah. But
Yeah, I've seen their commercials on TV lately.
well, it's just too much.
Lumber liquidators.
But it's just like the drywall and stuff from China too. I mean, they
It
just
was
want.
China.
They did
Drywall
that
from China.
Yeah, a lot of houses were condemned because of the formaldehyde coming out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
The drywall was so bad it was corroding pipes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And the walls, the pipes behind the wall are corroding from the chemical coming out.
Oh my God.
Freaking China.
Yeah.
I wonder when they sued them what
And
happened.
that'd be a lot of money because drywall is so heavy.
Oh.
Transporting drywall from China to the United States,
You
they must be doing that shit for almost nothing, making it for nothing.
You would think.
You know?
Well, their labor is basically
Yeah,
free.
right.
I mean, they'll have the North Koreans come over and they pay them like a nickel.
You ever go past? You ever go past?
And actually, they don't pay them; they pay King.
When you're going on I-70, Gibson, Colorado,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where all the drywall's made.
Yep.
It's all over the
But
hills.
it's amazing how cheap that could be and how nice it is.
You know, in Canada, though, right now they have asbestos in their drywall, brand new.
Really?
We've got some weird regulations. When you break it and it's airborne, it's bad. But I mean, literally, it's not.
It's trapped. So I mean,
People know how to use it.
Right.
And they seal it.
All right, right, 303-713-8255. Billy, I got to get back to you here. Just, would you trust me on this, and let's get an average over 2 or 3 months, and if it's outrageous, I'll go right to the electric company and try to help you. Is that cool?
Okay, that's cool. My concern was that it's not just for a month. It's for like 10 months.
Well, okay, no, that's fair enough. But what I'm saying is once we know what your actual habits are and what your bill is, let's say it's 30, I would fight tooth and nail for you if they're trying to charge you 60 for those months the meter wasn't working if your average is 30.
Okay, I appreciate your help, Mark.
Absolutely. So let's do that. I really want you to keep in touch with me and let me know. So I'm going to have Suzanne grab your info and then make sure to get back to us, okay?
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. 303-713-8255. Ivan, what's going on with you?
Hello?
Hey, Ivan?
Yes.
What's going on, sir?
I purchased a new Toyota Tacoma pickup, 5-speed manual transmission, any rate from Auto Nation, Arapahoe, in the Denver metro area.
Okay.
We spend about half of our time in Nevada. At the time I purchased the pickup,
you bought it new, though, right?
Brand new.
Okay.
I bought a prepaid service plan for the oil changes and so forth.
Got it. A lot of people sell those.
Yeah, and I think it's been okay. But at any rate, since we're snowbirds and I'm now in southern Nevada, I had about half my service done at Auto Nation in Nevada, Las Vegas. That worked fine, except on my last service at 36,000 miles, should have been due at 35. But at any rate, the guy said, you missed a biggie at 30,000, and we got to drain the transmission, all that. You've had that stuff in there, that fluid in there for 36,000 miles. I said, okay. At any rate, after I got it back, it was probably warmed up. I took it home. We're 60 miles away from the service center, and couldn't get it to shift into first gear when it was cold. And it just simply wouldn't go in. It wouldn't clash. I'd put the clutch in.
So what was it, Ivan?
Well, okay, so I took it back to the service writer. He says, I was a mechanic for many years. Let me drive it with you. He drove it around a little bit, and he said, oh, it's simple. Your clutch pads are worn out. That's kind of standard at 35,000 miles. And I said, you got to be
standard at 35,000. Well, I mean, this is but honestly, Ivan, this is simple. Either the clutch plate's worn out or not.
Well, I mean, Ivan, what you were saying is that when the vehicle was cold, it was hard to engage it into first gear, right?
Right.
And that happened after they changed the oil in the transmission?
Yes.
It sounds like to me that they have the wrong gear lube in it. The gear lube is too thick. Would have nothing to do with the clutch.
Well,
anyway.
Get a little bit. The guy says, well, let's check all these discounts. And he says his clutch pads are worn out. That's standard, 35,000 miles. So I'll see what discounts I can apply. And he says, oh, we can change the clutch pads for $2,400. And I said, I have driven stick shifts for 200,000 miles and never spent a penny on it.
Yeah, there's no such thing as clutch pads. There's brake pads, but not clutch pads.
So what happened? Where are we at?
Where we're at right now, I'm going to take it back in. I talked to a...
How long ago did this go down?
Well, it's been a month or so. We've had a great holiday. We had kids visiting us from Australia. It's grandkids and so forth.
Okay.
But at any rate, as it stands right now, I'm not going to spend $2,400. A assistant service manager.
Here's what I do, Ivan. Here's what I do. I'd bring it somewhere else and have them check it. And like Mark just said, if it's the wrong fluid, and it can cause. So, Mark, you're saying the wrong weight in the fluid can cause exactly that issue.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, Ivan. When you put it in reverse, does it grind going in reverse?
No.
Okay, that means the clutch is releasing all the way. Okay, so it sounds like to me that you have a gear lube problem. The gear lube
if it happened right after they did the fluid.
Wrong viscosity gear lube.
Well, these guys are professionals, and it's a Toyota dealership.
But Ivan...
Yeah, but they make mistakes, too. Everybody does.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Okay.
Why don't you just bring it somewhere else, have someone else look at it?
Just change the fluid. See what happens.
Ivan, if you want, you can call my manager up, Scott, at the shop. He can look up what type of gear lube's supposed to be in it for you, so this way you can let the Toyota dealership... You can tell them what gear lube to put in it.
Have you got a number?
Go ahead. 303-781-9858.
And that's budget A1 transmission. I'm telling you, if anybody knows, Mark's going to know. So, I mean, to me, that's good news. Oh, Ivan, you might not need the clutch. Get it checked out.
Okay, well, I was going to do something like that. I'm going to take it back in, and they're going to take a look at it. Talk to the assistant service manager there. And
Ivan, listen to what I'm saying. I would take it somewhere else first.
Okay.
I would. Then take it back to them. 35,000 miles. If you've been driving a stick forever, you should not be buying a clutch.
Absolutely.
It sounds like something's up here. It sounds like they made a mistake. So bring it somewhere else. Is that just a drain and fill, Mark? How does that?
Yes, it is. But you know what? Another thing, too. They didn't need to change the fluid in that transmission at 36,000 miles. Maybe 80,000.
But he paid for it. Did you have to pay for that, or that was part of your service package?
It's a long story. I paid for it. He said it wasn't part of the service package.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Didn't need
so you did end up paying for it. Would you just bring it somewhere else, Ivan, and check, and let us know what you find out, though? Honestly, Mark, if he just brings it somewhere else, what's a drain and fill on that going to cost, roughly?
You're probably talking $40, $50. Real simple.
Pay the 40 or 50 bucks, bring it somewhere, make sure the right fluid goes in it, and then, Mark, you think the problem goes away immediately, or it takes time?
Oh, it's going to be immediate.
And then if it goes away, thank goodness, right?
And if it goes away, then you can go back to the dealership and get your money back.
All right.
And if they won't give you your money back, reach out to us, and we've got a connection over there that'll take care of it.
And on your receipt, too, Ivan, that the dealership that changed the oil in the transmission, they probably have a description of what oil they put in the transmission, so this way you can tell them, hey, you put the wrong oil in it.
Fluid in,
yeah.
But you had not one issue before they did the drain and fill, right?
Correct.
Well, that's okay. Listen, just common sense is leading us down this path. Bring it somewhere. Make sure that you just do it. In fact, you can. Where are you located? You're not in Denver, are you?
No, I'm in Nevada right now.
All right, well, like a Firestone, a Goodyear, someone that knows what they're doing. Bring it there, drain and fill it, or a transmission shop, but pay for that, see if it fixes it. You're only going to be 40 or 50 out of pocket, and then if they did put the wrong stuff in, you should get that full refund coming back from them. Let's say you get it drained and filled, you bring it back, you get with that same service manager, you say, hey, look, it's magically fixed itself. Not. Here's what your guys did, here's how I fixed it, I want a refund.
Thank you.
Have a good day, man. Thank you. 303-713-8255. I honestly wouldn't bring it back to them now. I'd go make sure.
Not after they tried to sell him a clutch.
I mean, I'm guessing they really think it does need a clutch, but that's crazy.
Well, they upsold the fluid service, and then they're going to upsell a clutch.
35,000 miles. I had to do, when I taught Suzanne how to drive a stick shift, we both drove that same car. She was a brand new driver on it. Literally, she never drove before she learned on a stick. And I got to say, I don't know if we ever put a clutch in that car. I don't know if we ever did.
Well, not somebody like, Ivan's had, 200,000-mile vehicles, same car.
Oh, yeah, Ivan's been around the block. I have no doubt about that. All right, 303-713-8255, Genesis Total Exteriors. You can reach them at GenesisTotalExteriors.com. But let me tell you what Mark Szymanski will do for you and your house. Ready? Pretty much anything. Siding, windows, gutters, painting, fences, and decks. On the inside, he can come in and remodel your kitchen, your bath, your basement, large additions, pop-tops, small additions, improvements of all kind. He's a great contractor. He's a general contractor with a great crew. Come on out, give him a call. He'll give you a bid for 100% for free. And I got to tell you, he'll get the job done and you'll be very happy. Mark Szymanski's been on our referral list at referrallist.com for a long time. 303-679-8509, 303-679-8509.
On the Fox Business Network,
What's that?
That's standard to say a clutch to go out in 36,000.
I'm not so sure the manual doesn't call for the fluid. You don't think
it probably does?
These manuals call for shit constantly.
Really? It doesn't end automatic.
Jeff Vick says do it, once a year regardless? Seriously.
And the standard?
But
automatic.
You're never going to hurt yourself doing maintenance.
No, that's his whole point. It's way cheaper than him having to redo your whole thing.
But as the economy changes,
yeah, but transmissions don't fail due to lack of, most of them don't fail due to lack of changing the fluid anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, but you get
ATF is just a 10-weight motor oil with a dye in it. Most
Is it really?
Yeah, that's all.
I run water in mine.
Yeah, well, you can do that. Fill it up with soda, that's
much
water.
cheaper.
And I do change it every year.
I take the oil filter out, I rinse it out with water and soap, put it back up there.
It's like customers say, their fluid's burnt, change it. Well, it's burnt because of what it is.
Yeah, but once it's burnt, then you're done.
That's it.
Yeah, it's not
If
the
it's
fluid
burnt,
that's burnt, it's
it's
the
due to
clutches that burnt that are now in your fluid.
Yeah.
So you think 30,000 that they should have changed?
No,
It's
not
a
now.
recommendation.
I didn't know the wrong fluid would cause that issue.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Viscosity-wise, yeah.
I did not know
We
that.
have a shelf full of different
We used to use
different additives.
Kendall sells one that's like a multi-use product.
Right.
Not anymore though, right?
For what?
For transmissions.
Automatic or standard?
Automatic.
Yes. You have Dextron 3 and 4 now, and Mercon, Dextron, Mercon.
And then
And
some
that
of
covers a lot of
But the
different
expensive one covers everything before it, right?
It covers a
in
lot
most
of
cases.
But standards, you're saying, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Because you have different clearances. Some have an internal pump. Some the oil's spun with the gear. Some,
I don't remember like
In the
even
transfer
selling that
cases,
service.
in the transfer cases, you have an internal pump, not
Yeah.
in a standard
True,
transmission.
true.
In the transfer
That's on the
cases.
gearboxes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So viscosity.
But
can
a
be
lot of,
critical.
like for instance, on the Mazda 5 speeds from the factory, they have a 30-weight motor oil in it.
Mhm.
Or no, I'm sorry, they have an ATF.
ATF, yeah.
I recommend
Dextron.
putting just straight Mobil 1 in it, because it's just so much better for them.
Yeah, yeah.
But other transmissions, if you put too thick of a gear lube in it, it will start grinding.
It'll start grinding?
Oh yeah, it'll start grinding
Especially he's in
or
Nevada, it's
not
warm down
releasing all the way. Yeah.
Stuff I learned
Well,
from
gears will hang up. Yeah.
And some of the brass sinker rings have a fiber inside the ring, so if you use the wrong gear lube in it, that will damage the brass sinker rings too.
How about on the, what's the new one? The, what's the new CVs?
CVTs.
How often you change fluid on those?
So the tranny's usually done by 100,000.
Yeah,
They usually could.
80, 90,000 miles. Yeah.
Actually, the transmission will be done.
CVT, yeah, they don't go very far.
Oh. Yeah.
But even in those, there's two different fluids. There's one for a chain
Right.
drive and a belt drive.
Right. And,
So you got to be careful what fluid you
and
put
they
in.
fail not because of bad fluid, they fail from mechanical failures, not caused by bad fluid.
Sure.
Well, like in my Hyundai Santa Fe, you can't even change the filter unless you pull the whole transmission
Yep,
out.
internal
Right,
fluid.
same like a Honda.
Yep.
What's that? Same
Honda's
Honda,
done that for
really?
years. Yeah.
But I will change the fluid, and I'm sure it helps, but it's not as good as being able to change everything.
Well, at 100,000 miles, it'd be a good idea to change the fluid.
Oh, I changed it 75, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And I'll
fine.
change it, probably, yeah.
And it depends on the driving. If you're a taxi driver, Uber driver,
Right.
yeah.
Sure.
Right. You're right. Because that's the smart financial move. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky from my.
But it's funny they would design one where you can't change. Of course, it says in the manual you don't have to change fluid.
Colorado business
For the Honda.
in 20 years.
It's life.
Lifetime. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Lifetime is as good as total faithful.
I'm a finance guy, and to me, the choice of leasing with Alliance is the obvious one for
Yeah,
your
there's so many different
Learn
fluids
more
now,
at
it's crazy. Oh my
alliance.lease.
God.
That's right, just type alliance.lease.
Well, between the different T cases, transmissions, everything else, sure. We've got, I don't know, 15, 16 different training fluids.
Yeah.
For different additives, different this, and because I don't want to take a chance. I don't want to find out.
I love it when I get a email that says, you guys have commercials. Well, duh. If we didn't have commercials, we wouldn't have a show, RJ. I mean, my God, man. Am I crazy for calling out emailers? I mean, honestly, this guy's an idiot. No offense, RJ, but I don't even know what this
No offense.
Okay, offense. Offense, RJ. I mean, what do you say? You know why we have commercials? Because we have a lot of listeners. You know why we have a lot of listeners? Because we're the only show that gets involved directly to help people out. Simple as that. Joseph's got an issue. It looks like with a Chevy dealer. What's going on, Joseph?
Hi, how you doing?
Doing good, man.
So my girlfriend came down. My girlfriend Patricia came down for Christmas, and basically what happened was her car had started having problems starting.
Okay.
And it's a 2004 Chevy Cavalier. We took it to O'Reilly, and they basically said that there was nothing wrong with the battery. They recommended Mike Maroney Chevrolet at the Chapel Hills Auto Mall. This is all down in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
He lives and works in Denver.
Okay, so understand. So they couldn't find anything. They sent you over there. Then what?
Well, so she was using my car for the week while Chevy had it.
brought it over there, and the guy who took it, he was a nice guy, he said that he'd have the diagnosis done by the next day, and then he followed up with me after the car had been there overnight, and he said that they were still working on a diagnosis. It wasn't the battery, it wasn't the alternator, and they needed to keep looking at it, and then they would have the diagnosis done by the end of the day, and then they would follow up with us tomorrow and go forward with whatever it was that they found.
Got it.
Well, we never got a follow-up from him, and I didn't hear anything from him for the rest of the day, and then I waited until like tomorrow, the next day, and then I called and I was like, hey, what's going on? I've been waiting for an update. We don't have a full diagnosis. And then the lady said, oh, your rep, he's gone. He's no longer here. And then I was like, okay, well, can you figure out what's going on? She leaves, and she spends a couple minutes putting us on hold, and then we just hear a click. And it sounds like we just got hung up on.
Joseph, it's a great novel, but where's it at right now? In all honesty, man, do they still not know at this moment?
Well, no, they diagnosed it. It took them about a week. We just got the car back.
Cool.
And they charged $650 behind schedule.
What was it?
It was, they needed to replace the HVAC system, is basically what they
What
said.
is that, guys? I'm lost.
Yeah, what is the heating and air conditioning? HVAC?
Yeah, but
the HVAC control head. And they
the control head.
Oh, so what was the symptom? I guess for some reason I thought it was electrical. What was the symptom?
It wouldn't start, and that's what O'Reilly said. It was electrical. They thought it was electrical until they realized it was HVAC.
Did it happen again? Are you having the same problem now?
Well, what happened was we went to go pick up the car. They didn't tell us it was done. We had to go investigate because their communication was shady throughout. We get there. We had to take out a loan because it was too much of an upfront cost to pay for it. Their loan wasn't approved, so we had to basically wait while their manager approved the loan that they encouraged us to apply for.
Joseph.
45 minutes.
Joseph, it's like Gone with the Wind here, man. Really, where is it at right now?
Well, what do you think I was thinking this whole time? We get the car after...
Good point. He's just making a point. That's a good point.
Well, the dash was cracked when we got there.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and they try to cover it up with glue.
How did you say it was so bad you literally just saw it?
We didn't see it until we got it picked up.
Okay.
We picked it up.
But where's it stand right now? What do you want from them? And let me ask you this. A, does the vehicle start now all the time?
The vehicle starts now.
How would, guys, I got to ask you, by replacing...
It had to have a draw.
Oh, a draw, which was killing the battery.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so how can we help you now? Do you think they owe you something for all the issues?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm asking is if we have a case. You know, I mean, I'm pretty naive. I'm only in my 20s. I've never had this problem before, and let alone with all the shady communication, and then they bring...
The problem is I don't know how much time they spent finding this draw on the electrical system. I don't know the answer to that, so it's almost impossible to say. Have you asked them for anything? And then as far as the cracked dash, you know, I think there's a value to that. There's definitely a value to that.
It's cracked where the head is, the HVAC head?
It's cracked right next to, like, where the speedometer and everything is. There's just, I don't know, it's just random. I guess it would be where the HVAC head is. I'm not mechanically inclined, but...
I don't know where it was.
Well, what did they say about it? Did they say, no, we didn't do it?
They didn't say anything about it.
Well, did you ask them?
Yes. They messaged me the next day, and I brought it up to them, and they never replied.
Okay, so they haven't answered you. Well, I would definitely ask for something. What that crack is worth, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know if they... I mean, generally, I don't think you would replace the whole thing if it's fixable. If you didn't notice it right off the bat and it's right above your speedometer, it's somewhat hidden, correct?
Well, no, so basically we didn't get it until it was about closed, until the dealership was closed, and then we get out, and after it was already closed, and by that time it was cracked, and she was like, okay, well, this wasn't here before, and it looks like they just tried to cover it up with cheap glue, and she just left.
Not expensive glue, the cheap glue.
Yeah, cheap glue. I don't know if there is expensive glue, but it just looked tacky.
Let's do this. He's got some valid stuff here, Dan. I mean, honestly, if they cracked it, they should owe him something. You know, as far as the actual work they did and the price, I just can't comment on it because I don't know how long it took. Some of those electrical problems, I got to tell you, I had a guy cut a harness. I had one of my employees back in the day at a Goodyear cut a harness on a used engine we were going to put in. The new engine had a different harness coming out of it, so bottom line is the entire harness had to be redone. I ended up sending it to Lakewood Electric, and he gave me a great deal because I've known the guys down there forever, you know, but it was still $1,200 in labor. You're tracking down all these wires.
You know what I'm thinking, Joseph? You've had a lot of communication problems with this dealership, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should just got a second opinion. We tell our listeners all the time. I mean, if you don't feel...
But the car's all fixed now. I mean, what do you mean a second opinion?
Well, didn't they call them up for authorization for the repair? I still don't see how an HVAC would cause the battery to go dead anyway.
Well, I'm sure they talked to you on the repair. Did they tell you it was going to be $650?
Yeah, they told her that it would be $650 and that she'd have to take out a loan. Basically, I was just asking, you know, if we had a case on
Well, here's the case you have. They cracked your dash. That's really the case. Now, what is that worth? That's what it comes down to. Dan, let's reach out and see if they're willing to do anything for them. I mean, it's not going to be a big deal, but let's just reach out. Maybe just for the fact of good customer service, they can handle it. Hold tight, man. Hold tight. 303-713-8255. Wink and Wink, I got to tell you about these guys. I love it. They're a husband and wife bankruptcy team. So if one of them's not available and you've got an issue and you hire them for your bankruptcy or even just to talk to them, if one's not available, the other is. I mean, it's really cool. Think about that. You hire an attorney, you get a twofer. I can't put it any other way. They're great people, Mike and Gigi Wink. They'll get your case filed very quickly, but more importantly, if you don't know if bankruptcy is right for you, you've been paying the same credit card bills, which seems forever, and you've got questions about, can I keep the house? Do we got to sell the cars? What happens? How does it work? They're happy to talk to you at no cost whatsoever. If you've been paying the same stuff forever and you keep getting deeper and deeper, the only fresh start might be bankruptcy for you. You might be a perfect candidate. Give them a call, 303-410-1720. 303-410-1720. Mike and Gigi Wink, I know them personally. They're great people. 303-410-1720 or winkandwink.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning.
That story was so long, I forgot who dealership it was.
I loved his one answer though. Now you know how I feel or whatever.
No, but he didn't know what you were getting at.
I know, which made it great.
Can you see how an HVAC unit would drop? I don't see that.
Drop.
Well, it's shorted out. It could be.
Oh, it looks like he dropped off, dude.
But
he's not on
anymore.
I mean,
they replaced it or said they did, and the problem's not there anymore. So I mean,
okay, which one do you guys want me to go to? Volvo? Tranny guy?
I don't know anybody in Omaha. Do you?
Where's the training guy? Needs a training
Well,
guy.
he just needs one in Nebraska. I'll go to the Volvo first because that's a real problem.
I don't see Volvo.
I don't see Volvo either.
Oh shit! I can't believe this
Drop
damn
the line.
screen, man. No, I gotta like kill everything and bring it back up. We need a trouble ticket on this. This is why can't the
I just see new caller. I don't see what.
Oh, you guys got now. Yours isn't working. Close it and
See, I just have new caller.
Holy shit! Right. Hit X, and now hit call track.
Oh, there we go.
You do the same thing.
Okay.
See, mine does that same thing sometimes. Suzanne will be telling me, I got him on line 4, where my line 4 is literally blank.
Yeah, yeah.
You see Pure Voice on 6 for a screaming deal, right?
Yes, I do now. Now that I refresh my screen.
Right, got it.
Please refresh.
Drew, would you put a trouble ticket in, though, on the refreshing? Or is that something that, I mean, we just live with forever?
Protecting your phone is a smart idea.
That sucks, man. I mean, like, she puts up that screaming deal until I just refresh because he can't see line 3. He can't see line 2. I refresh because I think mine's wrong. And then I see Rolly. They refresh. They see the right stuff. Every one of them in here is doing the same thing. Maybe if they upgraded the machine.
Yeah, I was thinking too, on a 2004 Cavalier, depending upon where she stores that vehicle, that dash is probably, you just touch it, it's going to crack.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
But you can repair.
You know what I'm saying?
You can repair dashes. It's they do it all the time.
Yeah, well, how do they
trim
do
shops? I don't know. I've seen some repair.
Wow.
Yeah. Different trim shops do different stuff with dyes and glues, and it's pretty magic.
That stuff on late night I've seen it where you just rub it.
Oh yeah. That's fun.
I'm trying to find it. Oh wait, it's a different car.
Sure. it's tough on that because when you talk to, and then, I mean, you got to hit every negative point of the thing for the last 3 days to prove your point.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So I tell Scotty, if you're going to have an issue like that, you call the customer up. Hey, listen.
No, you got, but the guy quit or got fired who was the service writer.
Right.
So I'm sure it took him a day or something to figure out who's.
Right, that's what I was trying to express to the customer. If you take your vehicle to a shop and you have bad communication problems to go with, get out. Get it out of there.
Yeah.
Take it somewhere else. You know? Take it somewhere else.
But some.
But it wouldn't start.
Idea of
it wouldn't start.
And others. I mean, that's a very.
It wouldn't start, so the customer would have to pay to have it towed somewhere else, or maybe the shop.
I don't think they were towing it. I think they drove it because they went to O'Reilly's and O'Reilly's checked it.
Yeah,
O'Reilly's
so
kept
they could have
checking
just
those
jump-started it.
Well, that's it. The jump starts, it's.
Well,
of course, there's people who don't know how to jump start.
Well, they didn't have the 600s to pay for.
Yeah, 2004 Cavalier, $600 for that damn thing.
That's a lot of money.
That's what it is.
Do you guys do finance?
No.
Yeah. You got a really good one.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Repair. What kind of percentage they charge?
Well, they get all kinds of different plans depending on how much. You get those, 90 days, zero, all kinds of different things. Yeah. They charge me.
All right, 303-713-8255. Randy with Purifoy Chevrolet has a screaming deal. Randy, what is going on, man?
I have got a brand new 2017 Cruise four-door sedan, Summit White, with all the driver confidence features: rear park assist, rear cross traffic alert, lane change alert with side blind zone alert. MSRP on this guy's $24,145, and for Martino listeners, it's $16,540.
Brand new.
Brand spanking
Not
new.
a demo, just brand new. It's got all the stuff you just did for $16,540. I didn't know the Cruises had all that stuff on there, man.
Yep, you can get them. You can get them pretty well.
The crosswalk and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Also has heated seats. I forgot to mention that.
And heated
it's
seats.
It's a nice little car. Yep, it's a nice little car. Front-wheel drive, so it goes through the snow pretty good.
Very cool, man. That's Purifoy Chevrolet, $16,540 for a 2017 brand new Chevy Cruze four-door with all those features, more than I can remember. Hey,
Correct.
Randy, I appreciate it. If you guys are interested, you call them right now. There's only one of those, though, right? Or is that a bunch of
correct.
them?
There's only one.
Uno. You're trying to make room for the 18s, basically.
Yes, I am. That's exactly right.
All right, cool. The number's 303-659-8311. 303-659-8311. It's Purifoy Chevrolet. Let's go to Tom. What's going on with this Volvo, man?
Hey, guys, I've got a 2009 Volvo S60 sedan. It's got 190,000 on it. Last week I took it over, got new tires, went straight over, got an alignment. But now when I'm driving, accelerating between 50 and 65 miles an hour, I get a vibrate. It's not the death wobble. In fact, the steering wheel doesn't even move. I just get a vibration.
Sounds like a carrier bearing in the drive shaft. Could be a U-joint, could be a transmission mount. Kevin?
Now, when I let off the accelerator, it's as smooth as silk.
So it's only when you get your foot to the pedal a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and then
it's something in the drivetrain.
75, I lock it in at 80 with my cruise control. It's smooth as silk.
Yeah, that carrier bearing has a rubber insert vibration dampener inside there. Could be that.
Anything with the wheels? I mean, wheels were balanced. I checked all the, the weights on there.
Did the vibration happen after
you can always have them rebalance the wheels.
Right. Did that happen right after the wheels?
Right after actually it was right after the alignment is when I noticed it. And it, like I said, they're brand new tires. I didn't have 20 miles on the tires when I went over and got the alignment.
I would be going back and having people recheck some things if I were you.
Okay.
I had to go back one time to a discount tire, I kid you not, probably 5 times. And ultimately, their balancing machine was out of out of sync. They had to recalibrate it.
Sure.
And it drove me absolutely nuts. So I'd get it back and have it all checked out. How about Brett? What's going on with you, sir?
Hey, Mike. I got a question for you guys on a 2002 Toyota Corolla. It's an automatic, and I was wanting to flat tow it behind my RV, but course, in the magazine or in the owner's manual, it warns you against that. And I didn't know if there was an aftermarket kit I could put on it to disengage it.
I would call up a towing service. You know, I was at a big coin show out in Albuquerque, and we hit a deer on the way back, and the towing service that picked us up had an app on their phone. This was really cool, Kevin. They had an app on their phone, and I don't know the name of the app, but the app told you how to tow any vehicle in any way or any manner. It was so cool.
Yeah, you think it would have that on an RV?
You know who else you can call? That was AAA.
Or U-Haul.
AAA is a good source for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you want, you can just give our shop a call, and the towing service that we have been using now for 30 years has that app, and they can tell you what it is. It's really a cool deal.
So there you go. There's some ideas, Brett. Hey, you guys. Mark, you're easy. You guys have $89 plus parts. Find, fix, or free.
Yeah, it's really a great program.
Well,
Find it, fix it, $89 or it's free.
Plus parts. So
it's awesome.
You got problems with your brakes. You're going to have to buy the brake pads. But they'll turn the rotors, they'll put the pads on, they'll install them, all for that 89 plus parts. And if it's something big, let's say you've got a leak and it turns out it's something big, then you'll give them a free estimate. They don't owe you a nickel. Find, fix, or free. 89 plus parts. Kevin, will you do, and I haven't even asked you, I'm going to ask you though.
Oh,
will you do some... Yeah, you love this, right? Yeah. What's he going to say? No, right, Dan?
Exactly.
Would you give out free tires to... No, I'm kidding.
No, that's what Al does.
We did that one time. Remember that? Oh, my goodness, that was crazy. Tom did that. I'm not even going to say it. It's dangerous. Yeah. But free alignment checks, would you do some of those?
Absolutely. No, customers love them.
Okay. Yeah. If you got new tires, or even if you didn't get new tires, free alignment check. It's usually like $59 at most places. You can call up anywhere.
And no obligation. You don't want to get any work done, you don't want to get an alignment, that's fine.
No, but the main reason I say it is, what I love about it is I sold tires forever. The first thing that ruins tires, especially snow tires,
it's quick,
is the alignment.
It's quick, couple of weeks, a month on a bad alignment.
How about that? And how about people that have had that little pull in their car forever? In other words, they've been driving it, they let go of the wheel, it pulls, and they just got used to it. That's probably wearing tires as well.
Absolutely.
So you've got camber, caster, and tow. Tow is in and out, right? So camber is the setback.
Sure, and then the caster is the...
And then generally speaking, most cars, of course, the tow's adjustable. Or most cars now, is there adjustments on the rear?
A lot of them don't come with adjustments, but we can buy kits to make them adjustable.
Shim kits or caster kits, whatever.
Yeah, camber caster kits are available for a lot of cars.
And how much is an alignment if they ended up just needing a tow? Tow only?
$59 most cars.
So that's it, and that's cheaper than anywhere. Call around, folks. Dealers everywhere. It's quite a bit cheaper. So Budget A1, what's your phone number over there? Actually, I'll give them out, guys. 303-781-9858. That's Find, Fix, or Free at Budget A Transmission, 89 or it's free. 303-781-9858. That's 89 plus parts. And then a free alignment, a check. You got to call over, schedule it. Kevin's got 2 locations, 303-455-7242. My name's Mark Major. We'll be back Monday with Tom on the Troubleshooter Network.
I'm Dave Marley, president of Marley Drug. Are you taking Viagra? Now, you can get sildenafil.
Yeah, I'm going to check our garage keeper's insurance.
This was the craziest. Even the insurance calls and the calls that weren't mechanical were still related to cars.
Yeah, nice.
I was waiting to get
I'm going to check up on our garage keepers.
Do you like sushi?
I do.
Do you really?
I like good.
See, my girlfriend's Japanese.
Oh, nice.
So she's always fixing sashimi and...
But that's cooked, right?
No, sashimi's basically sushi, but it's served differently.
I couldn't even.
I thought that Mark.
You know the best I've ever had?
Yeah.
Michigan down in Florida, you get
I thought that was something personal when you
just cut it open and...
I think I'd puke. I don't think I could open it.
Really?
I don't think I could literally eat it right fresh. I know I couldn't eat it like you did.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was hungry enough, I'd eat anything.
Nah, that's the freshest there is.
I'd rather have a
the tuna? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like a bohina.
I'd rather have almost
What do you mean, the tuna are alive?
Yeah, well, you catch them. Like when you fish it.
Okay.
So, you know, you can just cut a bit
right there, right when you catch it.
Just like a watermelon, yeah.
Wow.
It's good stuff.